Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another deadline stream. The third deadline stream in the space of 7 days. God, you guys are so spoiled. But here we are. Saturday deadline stream, back again. I didn't mind the midweek deadline stream. In fact, I had a little bit of rum, got a little bit flustered, so that was fun. However, we're now back with what is my favourite, early Saturday morning. There's nothing quite like it. FPL deadline impending, me panicking. Just feels classic. Feels right. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what you're doing right now, and we will very soon move on to my team. I've got a few key decisions to make, I think, like a lot of people this week. I've actually already made one transfer. I've got a second free transfer if I'd like it. And then I need to make a decision around benching. My goalkeepers I'm struggling with. Defense I'm struggling with a little bit, although I'm starting to come around on that decision. And then what else is there? Oh, captaincy as well. So we've got lots of key decisions to make this week. So I feel like even if you're not making a transfer, it's not necessarily straightforward as it has been in previous weeks. Stayed up all night for this. That's very sweet. I hope you have a wonderful sleep after the stream. I mean, if you fall asleep during the stream, I don't blame you. I've got a very boring voice sometimes. It drones on a little bit. My girlfriend uses my streams to fall asleep. I take it as a compliment, but I'm not sure I should. Looking ripped. Thank you. I am doing my best. Had to set my alarm for this beautiful man. God, everyone's so kind. Let me kiss your head. No, only one person could do that. Hey, Raptor. Hello, Zodiac. Good to see you. Your girlfriend is a lucky girl. Beautiful head, Ross. Are you listening to this? Okay. She's listening. You look like a century egg this morning with this cap. Nice. All of the comments flying in around the egg. If you had a haircut, Ross, looking good. Can I see your bald head for once? There you go. Doesn't come out very often because I'll get it out a little bit more when I'm tanned, but at the moment it sort of is a bit. Well, it is like an egg, isn't it? Let's be real. No one wants to see that. I mean, unless you do love eggs. Maybe some people love eggs. Some people are allergic to eggs, though, and I don't want to obviously bring them up in a rash or anything. Say to Pickle, Doctor said hi. Doctor said hi, Pickle. Hello. FPL Pickle in the bin. Boo! No, we love FPL Pickle. Who said Pickle in the bin? Right. So let me show you my team. Like I said, I've made a transfer. It's so exciting. One of the more exciting transfers I've ever made, which was Lascelles to Van Heck. I made that last night because Lascelles was approaching a price drop. Van Heck wasn't really particularly near a price rise, but just in case, I thought the neck on my top's putting me off. I thought there was very little chance that my opinion on this move would change, so I just did it. I have been considering Branthwaite, but actually I think the plan is to still bring in Branthwaite next week. So I'll very briefly show you before we move on to some of my other decisions. So my team, there is a link down below if you want to check out Fantasy Football Hub, where we do all of our planning. So this is the way my team looks at the moment. So Van Hecken for this week. In 33 then, I'd have 2 free transfers. But remember, because I'm free hit 34, I would need to use both of them in 33. So the current plan is Onana in for Raya, because that gives me a doubler for 37. And then Branthwaite in for Bradley. And I know Branthwaite doesn't double in 37, but he plays Sheffield United at home. So I'm still going to get Branthwaite and Van Heck. I just decided to do it this way around because I think I slightly prefer Van Heck as an option. And I thought, let's say I don't have the opportunity to bring in Branthwaite next week because I get like 3 or 4 injuries. I think I'd rather have Van Heck. Not only because he doubles, but in the weeks that I need him, he's got a good fixture. Such as 33. I'd rather not play you doggy against Newcastle, so the plan is to play Van Heck against Burnley away. And then obviously I'll free hit this week and I'll come out of that in 35 and make a transfer then. So that's the current plan at the moment. Very boring transfers, but it is what it is. At least I have the free transfers to remove Lascelles. So yeah, Van Heck has come in for me. That leaves me with 1 milli in the bank. So I've got some flexibility still moving forward. 1 mil, 1 free transfer with this team. I'm pretty happy with it still. So the other decisions to make for me, I'm just rambling on, but then I'll get to answering your questions once I've explained my situation. The current situation is captaincy I need to think about. It's either Salah or Palmer for me. I think I've ruled out Son and Haaland. I'll run a poll in a second, by the way, to see where you're at. But I think I've narrowed it down to Salah and Palmer. So one will be my captain, one will be my vice. I'm actually really struggling with Raya versus Petrovic. And I know a lot of people are saying, we'll just start Raya. And that is where I'm at the moment. But on paper, regardless of how good Arsenal are defensively, I think I'd still say that the clean sheets may be more likely for Petrovic. But Chelsea do just capitulate. And if you look at their recent games, they concede over 2 goals in every single game. right? Brentford, they conceded 2. Newcastle, they conceded 2. Burnley, they conceded 2. Man United, they conceded 3. So it's not even like they're conceding like 1 goal in a lot of these games. I mean, Man City, they conceded 1, which was very, very impressive. But then they conceded 4 against Wolves, 4 against Liverpool. Like, they're not a particularly good defence, are they, really? So I am wondering whether just back right. I mean, I've already got Gusto, so if Chelsea do keep the clean sheet, it's not the end of the world. And then the only other thing then is, do I start Bradley? But I think I've come around to the fact that because Bradley's a slight rotation risk, and also I expect Man United to score, I don't think I want to start Bradley. So this is where I'm currently at. Start Raya, bench Bradley, captain Salah. I'm feeling pretty okay at the moment, but captaincy could definitely switch, and also the goalkeepers could switch as well. Look how good Tarkowski's data has been in the last 8 or 9 games, bar 1. I looked at this the other day, actually. I said to FPL Pickle that I might actually go for Tarkowski instead of Branthwaite. But he is like 0.3 more, and is it worth it on the odd chance that he gets an attacker? Maybe it is. I mean, I don't necessarily need the money, to be honest. Can we have an analysis on all Everton defenders using data? Cheers, love you. Yeah, we can have a look at that in a second, for sure. For sure. Raptor, your mods are misbehaving, are they? My mods would never misbehave. I think it's just Claudette, Pickle, and Marcus, and I believe none of them would misbehave. All right, let's take a look very briefly, because there was a super chat asking me to take a look at Everton defensive data. A bit of a niche question, so we'll fly through it fairly quickly. We'll go per 90. We'll go custom stats. And then we'll go Everton in here. Everton. So, goal threat-wise, we can probably ignore Godfrey, unless you want to go for Godfrey. But do you know what? It's Tarkowski, Mikalenko, or Branthwaite, I think, for most people, just due to safety of starts and minutes. So, none of them have that much goal threat, but Tarkowski definitely has the highest. Assist threat, Tarkowski also has the highest. So I think if you're going for a defender and you're looking for attacking threat, it is Tarkowski. Mikalenko's is ever so slightly higher than Branthwaite's. If we look in more recent weeks, though, as someone was suggesting, Tarkowski's data is actually very, very good. We're looking at a 0.14 non-penalty expected goals, 0.1 expected assists. So he's currently sat at 0.24 expected goal involvement over the last 6 or 7 game weeks. It's very good. I mean, it gets even better if you go over the last 6. So I think if you're looking for upside and you have the money, Tarkowski would be the one. On free hit 34, if I go for an Everton defender and it's not Pickford, it probably would be Tarkowski. That's currently where I'm at the moment. But Branthwaite may be worth the saving, to be honest. Bench 8 Nuri, Gabriel, Branthwaite, or Gusto. 8 Nuri, Gabriel, Branthwaite, or Gusto. Goodness grief. There are some awful benching decisions. You know what? I would genuinely bench Branthwaite there. Gusto's got the attacking threat. Gabriel's got attacking threat and clean sheet potential. So it's between 8 Nuri and Branthwaite. We expect at least one more game with 8 Nuri at left wing. And so I would just err on the side of saying, who posted it? Someone posted, was it Fraser? No, it wasn't. Oh, I can't remember who posted it on Twitter. There was a full quote from Gary O'Neill on Ryan 8 Nuri, and he was just singing his praises. Because there was a quote going around that I saw, but then last night in the embargoed quotes, there was like a page of just him saying how good 8 Nuri is, and how good he is in attacking positions as well. So I don't think I could bench 8 Nuri this week. So for me, in that situation, I'd somehow bench Tarkowski. Branthwaite. I think a lot of people are going to struggle with benching decisions this week. Eric Bjornsson has become a Rap Tier 1 member, by the way. I've just seen that. Thank you very much. I do appreciate you. If you are still in the chat, thank you very much. It was Black Wolf. Okay, let me have a look. What, was he the one that posted the full quote? I didn't think it was him. It's not that one, Marcus. Someone posted it in, like, that's the short version. Someone posted, like, a page quote about it. Was it Fraser? Maybe it was. Yeah, I can't remember who posted it. No, it was. Oh, yeah, it was. Oh, I should have just trusted myself. This is the full quote. He's having an incredible season. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the... This is on Ryan 8 Nuri, by the way, if you just joined. He's having an incredible season. I'm proud of him. I'm proud of the work he's done. I wish he'd have scored 5 in the last 4 because there were 2 massive chances. He's doing unbelievably well for the changes in different areas that we're asking him to pop up in. Don't know if that's the right But anyway, then occasionally, not very often, but occasionally he looks like a left back. Unfortunately, those 2 times have been when he's 6 yards out with just a goalie to beat. So getting into right positions, but I think he's acknowledging that he is not an attacker. I think he's matured an awful lot. I didn't know him last year, but I'm led to believe he's made huge improvements in his maturity and demeanour and how he is around the place and how he trains every day. It shows on the pitch, and he's been one of our best performers throughout the season. He is huge to us, especially at this moment when he does have some attacking prowess and we are massively short of it. I mean, some Ryan Aitnuri propaganda there, but it's what you like to see. It's what you like to see. I do think for a lot of people, and pretty much any strategy, Ryan Aitnuri is a pretty good transfer in. But just to confirm, when Hwang is back, Hwang will play at left wing. Ryan Aitnuri will slot back into left wing back, or left back. Anyone watch the qualifying? Lance Stroll in 15th, was it? Goodness gracious. 16th, I should say. 16th for Stroll. Wow. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Right, back to FPL though. I'd like to see Carlos Sainz and Alonso at the same team next year. That'd be fun. Will you start Bradley or Konsa? I'd go Bradley for the attacking threat. Start Powell, Reguilon or Doughty? I'd be tempted by Doughty. We have to remember how good Doughty's attacking threat is, by the way. Can you cover Wildcard this week? What would you go with? The same team as me. It wouldn't change much for me. Unless you're not free hit 34. You'd have to tell me your strategy. But if you're free hit 34... I mean, it would be pretty much... I probably wouldn't have Raya, actually. The only difference is rather than Raya, I would have Onana and I'd start Petrovic. Because you might even want to drop Saka. Do you know what? If I was on... That is the change. If I was wildcarding this week, rather than Raya and Saka, I would have Onana and Foden. Or Onana and Gordon. And I obviously wouldn't have Bradley, actually. Okay, they're the changes. Saka, Raya, Bradley would become Onana, Foden... And then, I don't even know who, Branthwaite, someone like that. You could, I suppose, drop Darwin if you wanted to, but I think you probably drop Darwin in 35, maybe, for a Højlund. Maybe makes more sense. It wouldn't be too dissimilar, though. It wouldn't be too dissimilar. Is Saka to Foden a good move? Only if we get confirmation that Saka's not going to play, which I don't think we'll get. I just think that Saka will get as many, if not more, minutes than Foden over the next few. Darwin, Isak, Solanke, role or Haaland, but for who? Oh, that's a great question. Darwin, Isak, Solanke. I think the only one you could bring in Haaland for there is Darwin. But the only reason I would do that is if you're not free hit 34. Sorry, if you are free hit 34. If you're not free hitting in game week 34, you can't really sell Darwin for Haaland, I don't think. So it depends on your strategy. But if you are free hit 34, Darwin to Haaland still does feel like an upgrade for me. I'd rather have Haaland than Darwin this week. On free hit 34, what to do with Richarlison? Could sell for Foden, but that would mean benching Muniz. Plan was to sell Saka for Foden in game week 33. I wouldn't mind benching Muniz. You could also sell for Gordon or Garnacho, assuming you don't have both of those already. Whichever one you don't have, go that way. But I wouldn't let a good move put you off. Like, Richarlison to Foden is a great move. Just because it causes a bit of a benching headache, I don't know that I'd let that put me off. If you've only got one free transfer, maybe roll this week, though. I don't feel like you need to make the transfer this week. Unless you've got two and you've got one to burn. Frosty in the chat. Good morning, Frosty. How are you doing? F1's more boring than Man United's attack. Oh, my God. I was looking at... defensive data. Look how bad this is. Right, let's refresh. Bit of a data nerd. Right, teams per appearance, and then we go to defensive, non-penalty expected goals conceded. United are the third worst defense in the league, sandwiched between Sheffield United and Burnley. Someone made a good point. I think it was Sam at FPL Sports Science over on Twitter. He said, and this is a great question, if Salah was playing against Burnley, would you question whether to captain Salah? And I think the answer for most people, if it was Salah against Burnley or Palmer against Sheffield United, I think most people would go Salah. Burnley are a better defence than Man United this season. I mean, there's not much in it. Man United have played one less game, so maybe not. But essentially, Man United and Burnley are very, very similar defences. Actually, in fact, the fact that they played one more game means United's even worse. I mean, United, if they ship 5 or 6 expected goals to Liverpool, they could be the second worst defence in the league. They're just not good. I mean, we are talking one of the worst defences in the Premier League. So if we're saying, oh, you've got to go for Palmer because Sheffield United is so bad, or like I said, if Salah was playing against Burnley, you'd probably captain him. Also, if we look over the last 6, Man United are the 3rd worst defence in the league, worse than Sheffield United. Only teams that aren't as... And to be honest, again, they've played one less game. So if you had the game against Liverpool that they're inevitably going to concede 3xG, they'd be right down there as one of the worst. I mean, they're just bad. Like, real bad. Then if we go and look at shots conceded in the last 6, Man United are worse. They've conceded 25 shots per game in the last 5 games. If we look across the last 6, they've conceded the most shots. Across the season, they are the 2nd worst team in the league, only worse than them as Sheffield United for shots conceded. I mean, they're just awful. So I think we need to change our perception on it. The only thing that I would say, and I think we've seen a few people bring it up, Wan-Bissaka is fantastic at one-on-one defending. And I do think he'll make it harder for Salah than someone like a Luke Shaw, a Lindelof would. Malacia, anyone else that could have potentially played there, Dalot. So Wan-Bissaka will make it difficult, but I still don't think we're a good defence. If they're one of the worst, why is everyone looking at their defenders for Game Week 35 Wildcard? I've got no idea, Frosty. I wouldn't be. The only one I'm looking at is Onana, and that's because Onana makes so many saves. If we do somehow get a clean sheet, even against Burnley, I can promise you he's going to make 3+ saves. He just always does. So that's the only one I'm looking at now is... I've gone off Maguire, I've gone off Dalot. I'll just be bringing in Onana. So you're expecting another 7-0. Honestly, if I had to predict now, I'd say 5-1. 4-1, 5-1. 25 shots per game. Yeah, I know. It's bonkers. And Salah takes so many shots. I just think it's going to be an absolute free-for-all there. So Dalot will be left back. Dalot won't be left back. Dalot won't be left back. It will be Aaron Wan-Bissaka at left back. Why are you not considering... Well, that's what I think anyway. Why are you not considering Dalot? He's just not got the attacking threat for the price. Playing for a defence like that, it's just not worth it. I've seen some drafts with 2 Man United defenders. I thought it was crazy. Yeah, I think that's mental. I mean, they play against Burnley at home in 35. Crystal Palace away in 36. But still. You're talking up Bradley for me, Ross. This is my concern... that I don't expect a clean sheet for Bradley, but I do expect 4 or 5 attacking returns for Liverpool. Goals, I should say. And if I'm expecting that, Bradley's potentially involved in those. I mean, for me, I'm going to start Aït-Nouri or Gusto. It's just whether I start Udogie or Bradley. Let me start with the captaincy poll, and then we'll run some other polls in a second. Right, captaincy poll coming your way very soon. Chat, who are we captaining this week? Is it just the main 4? Should I just run a poll for the main 4? Captaincy poll. We've got Salah against Man United away. We've got Palmer against Sheffield United away. We then have Haaland against Crystal Palace away. And Sonny against Nottingham Forest at home. Right, there you go. There's a captaincy poll in the chat. Make sure to vote on that so that we know who the most popular captain is. I think it started off this week after his hat-trick. Well, this week, when I said like Thursday, most people were on Palmer. And I think it seems to have switched slowly towards Salah. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys are doing. Hey, Ross, no free hit 34. Who should I target getting in? Arsenal assets, make sure you've got 3. Liverpool assets, make sure you've got 3. And then after that, I think you're probably looking at Wolves assets, maybe Crystal Palace. So it would be like, I think something like Darwin, Salah, Van Dijk in an ideal world. Saka, Havertz, Gabriel. And then you're probably looking like Aït-Nouri, Sarabia, Cunha, Eze, Elise. These would be the sort of players I'm looking at. Maybe an Everton defender, actually, over the next couple. I haven't got terrible fixtures. Palmer, Diaz, Salah, Havertz, Gordon, Darwin, bench 1. Oh, that's rough. I'd bench Diaz. No, I wouldn't. That's a terrible decision. Havertz. No. Brighton aren't bad. I would bench Havertz of those. Not on penalties. Brighton are pretty good defensively. I'd bench Havertz. Start Saka or Moniz? Saka. I do agree that Moniz this week is a very good option against Newcastle at home. We know that Fulham are better at home. We know that Newcastle was stinky away from home. And like as you say, that defence is in shambles. But I still would be on Saka over Moniz. Here for FPL has become a Wrap Tier 2 member. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Darwin to Haaland or Saka to Foden for free? Ooh. I do think Haaland is an upgrade on Darwin, but I don't know about this week that being an essential move. I don't necessarily love either of those, but I think I prefer Saka to Foden based on the fact that Saka could get reduced minutes. But I'm still not overly sure about either, to be honest. Edward Humphreys says, what the duck do I do with Richarlison? Yeah, I would sell for Gordon or Foden myself. You should have taken my Darwin bribe last week. Oh, I should have. I remember that now. Yeah, I know. I would have been up on points and up on money as well. I would sell Richarlison, yeah, for Gordon or Foden. I think those would be my two favourite ones. If you feel like you really need the money moving forward, I'd go Gordon, but otherwise I think I slightly prefer Foden. Glad it's not just me thinking Haaland. The issue is, let me see if I've still got this. Do I still have this table? Where are you? Here we are. Someone was just asking for Man United's home and away data, so here it is. Crystal Palace are the fourth best defence in the league at home this season. And I know City are City and Haaland's Haaland, but this worries me slightly. I think especially considering you've got teams like Manchester United and Sheffield United to target. Man United are better at home, though. They're only 13th. I say only 13th. They're a mid-table defence at home this season, but not in the last 6 or 7. So I think that needs to be taken into account as well. Palace have largely defended quite well this season. But again, Haaland is Erling Haaland, right? He can do it against anyone. So I do agree Haaland's an option, but I think when I looked into the data a little bit more, it put me off slightly. Also, Haaland is not particularly... The matchup doesn't suit him that much. Crystal Palace don't concede many chances through the centre. 13th ain't mid-table. I'd disagree with that. I'd say like 7th to 13th is mid-table for me. Maybe 8th to 12th you could do instead. But it's not lower parts of the table, I don't think. I'd say sort of 15th, 16th onwards, when I'd say sort of towards the bottom of the table. I don't go by stats for captain, I go by my gut. My gut has gone off Palmer because surely he won't get 2 hat-tricks in a row and Haaland needs to show why he's the man, not Foden. I don't think that's gut, Frosty. I think that's called narrative bias, but... Kay says, same team and strategy. 2 free transfers, 2.3 in the bank. Thinking of Saka to Foden if he's starting. Don't dislike it. Next game week, my 2 free transfers would be selling Raya and Lascelles to a goalkeeper and defender. Which combo do you prefer? Maybe if you want to go for probably something like Onana and Gvardiol would probably be the best 2 combos there. I'm probably going to go for Branthwaite, but I have considered Gvardiol as well. I just worry with Man City defenders that they just don't start enough. But Gvardiol has shown some attacking threat recently, so maybe I'll consider it, you know. If I have the money, I need to work that out, actually, but maybe I'll go for Gvardiol. Yeah, maybe. I just think Branthwaite could even outscore some of those defenders in 37. Wildcard team for bench boost 34. No other chips left, considering keeping Son but not Foden due to potential rotation. Wildcard team for bench boost. I don't hate it, but yeah, you can't keep too many players that don't have a double in 34, really. I think I would just make sure I've got the likes of Branthwaite, Munoz, who knows? Branthwaite, Eze, Elise, Cunha. Hwang could even be a decent option. 8 Nuri would obviously be on there as well. Who else would I go for? My goalkeepers would probably be Pickford and Sarr, if you can afford him. Jose Sarr. I mean, there are some... Bench boost 34 could look very nice. Just, I think it will set you up really badly after 34. Unless you've got... No, you wouldn't have a wild card for 35. Because then you'll have no good players for 35 onwards. So... I'm not keen on bench boost 34 unless you've got a wild card to use after that. You are 2 places behind me. Well, then I shall make up those 2 places this week. Continue. Have the exact money to do Saka, Bradley, Raya to Edison, Trippier, Foden. Why would you bring in Kieran Trippier? He's injured. Also, Edison isn't even definitely fit. I don't like this at all. I don't mind that in the future, but I don't like that now. Right, Edison's not definitely available, and even if he is, it's Edison. Trippier's injured. Foden, I think, will get a rest in one of the next 2 games. I don't love that, I'll be honest. Udogi, Gusto, Gabriel, 8 Neri, bench 1. Oh, good lord. Udogi. I'd bench Udogi there. Start 3 of Van Dijk, Garnacho, Tarkovsky, and Zabarnyi. So bench 1 of them. I'd bench Van Dijk because I don't think that they'll keep a clean sheet. And he's not shown that much attacking threat this season. I know that feels a bit rubbish doing that, but I'd bench Van Dijk. Why Van Heck over Branthwaite? Game week 36 defence looks weak. I will still bring in Branthwaite or I'll bring in Gvardiol next week. So my defence for 36, I'll show you as it is quickly. This is the situation for my defence in 36. My team, pick and rating. So this is the team for 36 with the planned transfers. Fabian Schär, Branthwaite, Gusto. So Branthwaite comes in for me in 33. And then in 36 itself, I'd have the money and free transfer to bring in Fabian Schär. So that's the current plan. So it'd be Onana, Gusto, Branthwaite, Fabian Schär. It's pretty decent. So Van Heck would still be on the bench for me that week. But Van Heck will play for me probably most likely next week in game week 33. But yeah, I agree. 36 needs to be considered now. Play Moniz or Haaland. Captain Palmer, Son, Salah. I mean, I'm on Salah, then Palmer, then Haaland, then Son. Like, if I was to rank them, it's Salah, Palmer, Haaland, Son for me. But, I mean, it really is completely... I mean, it's a coin flip. I have no idea who's going to outscore who. It's going to come down to luck. All 4 are great options. If you get this right, it's not... I wouldn't say it's great decision making. And I will say that if I get this right. Let's say Salah scores 50 points or something. I would still say that's down to luck. Because I think all 4 of them are justifiable as options for different reasons. So I don't want any smug takes if one of them massively outscores the other. It's completely down to luck for me. If you're starting to captain someone completely random like Darwin, then fair play if you think that's a great shout. But I think if you choose out of these 4, you need variance on your side. 4 million in the bank to change Lascelles. Any recommendations? Love egg. Depends what strategy you're on. I mean, you could go for Fabian Schär if you've got a lot of money and you want to stay on the Newcastle defence. But I think for most people, it's Van Heck, Gvardiol, or Branthwaite, assuming that you're free hit 34. If you're not free hit 34, 8 Nuri or Munoz, but unless you need to start them this week. But I'd probably go 8 Nuri, honestly. Richarlison to Johnson, have Foden free hit 34. I just don't know that Johnson will start enough, because if Kulu does start on the backs, does start on the right in the future, then it's Werner or Johnson. I think at the moment it appears to be Werner and Johnson. Johnson has been very good. I just don't know how fully nailed he is. Like, I'd love to know, if you're a Spurs fan watching this, is Johnson just absolutely nailed on to start every game? Because I'm just not sure he is. Could be a decent pick, though. Could be a very shrewd pick, because not many people will go for Johnson. Hey, would you play Branthwaite instead of Udogi? I think I'd still play Udogi, you know. Burnley have been attacking fairly well. Oh, they only have 4 in the bank. Oh, I see what you're saying. I thought you were saying you have 4 in the bank. Okay, that makes sense. There's literally no one, is there? Richards, but Richards is injured at the moment. Let's have a look. Defenders, 4.4. There's no one. If Evans was fit, maybe. Trusty? Is he getting enough minutes? No, not really. Because he doubles in 34. Not that you need a doubler in 34. I mean, sadly, I think it is Richards, but Richards is out for a few weeks minimum. So I don't know how much that will help you. There's literally no one, sadly, that I can think of. Charlie Taylor is probably your best shout. I mean, Camboala will get starts for the time being. Could potentially go there. I mean, depending upon how long Evans, Lindelof, Martinez, Varane are all out, then yeah, Willie Camboala is going to get a lot of minutes. I don't mind Big Willie. Don't cut that chat. What are you laughing for? Right. Yeah, no, I quite like Big Willie. Right, anyway, let's move on. People that join the stream for that part are going to be very confused. We're talking about Willie Camboila, okay? Get a grip. No, not clipped. Chat. What are we...
That's going to be on Twitter in approximately 30 seconds.
No, listen. No, listen. Okay. Saka to Havertz or Foden? Foden. No free hit 34. If it's Foden, I'd transfer him to Diaz in 34. If it's Havertz, then I have a spare transfer. I would go Havertz then, Shiv. Yeah, I like Havertz. Go for Havertz. I see no reason not to if you're not free hit 34. I like Havertz a lot, and I think he'll continue to start, regardless of whether it's as the 9 or in midfield. He just seems very critical to Arteta's setup at the moment. Wan-Bissaka 100% left back. Salah opens gaps for others. I get what you're saying, but I think if Salah's struggling with Wan-Bissaka, he'll just drift central. And Salah drifting central is then up against Willie Camboila and Maguire. So, Wan-Bissaka definitely makes Salah a weaker captaincy option because I think he's that good defensively. But he's also not that great, right? I mean, we're still conceding goals a lot at the moment. So, I don't think Wan-Bissaka means that Salah can't get any returns. KG says Darwin to Jackson to prepare for double game week 35 and beyond. I'm also on free hit 34. Okay. I also have a planned transfer in 35 to bring in Dallo for Lascelles. Would you rather just swap the transfers or just trust Jackson this week? I think I'd rather swap the transfers myself. I do really like Jackson against Sheffield United, but I also quite like Darwin against United. Man United. I think I would swap the transfers, but I also am not that convinced by Dallo. KG, if it was me, I would give Darwin another week and I'd switch the transfers, but I love Darwin. Worded wrong, sorry, I have 4 million total to change Lascelles. Yeah, in that case, it's probably only Richards or Taylor, or maybe Willie Camboila. Maybe. But I mean, Camboila's going to be a very short-term pick. There's really no one for 4 million or less, sadly. You need 4.1, because then you can go for Van Heck. Foden is on Man City's X game image. Marcus, you're the only person that calls Twitter X. Let me have a look. It doesn't mean anything, though, does it? We've seen this so many times. I don't feel like admin have any idea who's playing. They've done this before where, like, De Bruyne's on the front and then De Bruyne's on the bench, you know? Didn't Darwin unknowingly score with his butt? Hardly clinical. It was with his foot, to be fair. It came off his foot. But yeah, he didn't mean it. Definitely not. Listen, Darwin's not great. Darwin doesn't tend to score many... but I kind of feel like this is a game that will suit him. Although I said that against Sheffield United. But our defensive pairing at centre-back is going to be so weak that... No disrespect to Camboila and Maguire, but I just think Darwin could have a bit of joy here. Frosty says, on Wildcard 35, I have Kelleher and worried about double game week 34 minutes. Have exact money to do Pickford this week. Otherwise can roll and get Neto Raya later. Kind of like Pickford's fixture this week over Kelleher. Oh, I would absolutely go for Pickford, yeah. Much prefer Pickford's fixture this week. And I also prefer Pickford in 34 to both Raya and Neto. On free hit 34, I think there's a very good chance I'll have Pickford. Yeah, I would make the move, Frosty, if it was me. Without obviously knowing the rest of your plans and everything else. But, yeah. I dislike Darwin more than Marmite. Yeah. Lots of people do. He's great. He's great. I love him. What is there not to like? Absolute chaos. Start Sarabia or Darwin. Ooh, I'd start Darwin still. Just about. The captaincy is so annoying. I know whoever I choose, they will blank, so it is what it is. It is what it feels like, isn't it? You know that there's 4 good options, and you just get this feeling that whoever you start is going to blank. I get that feeling, absolutely, but you never know. Have the same team as you, but 0 in the bank. Saka to Havertz for the saved money. Not just to save money, because what are you saving money for? Like, if you've got a specific purpose of, like, I need this money to make this move, great. But only if you need the money. Like, don't do it just for the sake of saving money, because it might be that you don't need that money. Or it might be that in the future you'd prefer to go to Gordon rather than Havertz. In all honesty, I think I'd prefer Saka to Gordon if you're on the same strategy as me. If you're on the same strategy as me, Havertz doesn't really help you. Cheers, needed the push. Allows me to get Diaz in 34, which I like. Oh, even more. I like that even more then. Although, I have a feeling Diogo Jota could become an issue for Darwin and Diaz's minutes in 34, depending upon when he's back. If he's not back for Crystal Palace, then maybe he's not a serious threat to their minutes. Would you be tempted to start Gordon over Saka? Think he starts, but not confident on his minutes at all with Bayern on Tuesday. I don't hate that at all, actually. I still think I would start Saka, but Gordon's worthy of consideration. Could even start him ahead of Darwin, but I think I would prefer Saka and Darwin ahead of Gordon just. But I think that's very close. If it was Fulham at home, I'd probably start Gordon ahead of both. But he's not very good away from home. Also, Newcastle aren't. It's not just a Gordon thing. Bench one of Udogi, Branthwaite, Gusto, Aït-Nouri. Branthwaite. The other three have such higher attacking threat that I think I'd back it. Play Gusto or Aït-Nouri. Gusto. Gusto and Aït-Nouri have very similar attacking threat for me. But Gusto's got a higher chance for a clean sheet in this game, I think. I know it's not likely, but what would you do with Haaland if he's not starting? That's a great question. That's a really good question. What would I do with Haaland if he's not starting? I think... Chat, what would you... We're probably going to get early team news on Man City. I don't think it will be the case. But let's say that Pep was maybe not lying, but concealing information. Let's say Haaland's struggling with something, which we don't think he is, and he doesn't start again. What do we do? So let's say we think he's in the squad, but he doesn't start. Because you could transfer him out, but then he's got Luton at home in the next game if he's fit and available. But I've only got Garnacho on the bench. And I know I said that in 31 and it served me very well, but I'm not as hopeful here. Just bench him. I'd take Saka / Darwin off my bench. Yeah, fair. I suppose if you've got a stronger bench option than me, maybe I would just start Garnacho then. Sell him for Cauley Woodrow. Facts. By the way, if you are enjoying today's stream, please do smash that like button and make sure to subscribe as well. We just recently hit 115,000 subscribers, which is pretty cool. But that doesn't mean that you can't still subscribe. Yeah, most people saying they would just bench him. Fair enough. I'm not overly happy with my option. If I had someone like a Darwin or a Gordon on my bench, I'd feel a lot better. But I did say I expect Man United to score, so maybe it would be Garnacho that gets it. You never know. I wish I could start Petrovic instead of Haaland. I really don't like benching Petrovic against Sheffield United. But I just think Arsenal continue to show how brilliant they are, and Chelsea continue to show how poor they are. Hi, Ross. Would you transfer in Foden for either Saka or Bowen? No. Not unless we get confirmation he starts. If we get confirmation he starts, I don't mind it for either. But if we don't get that confirmation, I'd maybe not. But the thing is, I think if he starts Palace and he starts Real Madrid, I don't think Foden starts Luton. That's my prediction. So I don't know that I want Foden right now. I'm thinking Foden in 35 is probably better than Foden now. Unless we get confirmation he starts Luton, then I might bring him in next week. Lots of ifs, buts and maybes. And I know we're relying on early team news, which isn't ideal, but I just worry a little bit about Foden's minutes. What would you do with this team? 2 free transfers and 1.9 million in the bank. Firstly, Jack, thank you very much for the super chat. Secondly, I don't take IDs because it gets really messy. And then people start donating loads to get their ID. And then I just spend the whole time looking at teams. So I really apologise, but I don't do that. But it depends on your strategy. I would just focus on either building towards 34 if you're not free at 34, or building towards 37 if you are free hitting in 34. But I think good transfers in this week for me is Aït-Nouri in defence. In midfield, make sure you've got Palmer. Outside of that, cheap defenders, Van Heck, Branthwaite. Cheap midfielders, Garnacho and Gordon. I know that doesn't help you specifically, but that's what I'd be targeting at the moment. Start 3 of Gabriel, Gusto, 8 Nuri, Udogi. I'd bench Udogi there. It's exactly the 4 defenders that my girlfriend is choosing between at the moment. Yeah, and I think benching Udogi is just about the best play there. But I think it's very tight. Same strategy as you. Sell Son or Saka. I need the money. If you're on the same strategy as me, sell Saka before Son. Does Watkins start? I've got no idea, but my prediction would be yes. What would a free hit 34 look like? We can build a free hit 34 very briefly. 34. Right, in goal, Pickford. I think is the current plan. In defence, I probably would have 8 Nuri. I'd probably have Van Dijk. If Trent's fit, by the way, I'd have Trent, but I don't know that it'll be fit enough for me to want to pick him. So Pickford, 8 Nuri, Van Dijk. I probably would still go Gabriel, I think. But then I want... Maybe I wouldn't go Pickford. Would I go Pickford? I kind of want a Palace defender as well, though. I don't know. Let's carry on building it out. Chat, who would you have on... Who would you have on your free hit? 34. I think I would want Eze. I think I would want... Do I want Elise or Huang? I have a feeling I'd go Huang, but I love Elise as an option. Goalkeeper-wise, other one I would probably go for... Let's just go for Henderson for now. Maybe I would start Henderson instead of... I don't know. Let me just build out the rest of the team. What are we thinking for free hit 34? I've not even looked at 34. Neither have I massively. Raya and Munoz. I like Gabriel though, but yeah, maybe. Forwards. Solanke's probably got to be in there, hasn't he? I don't think I would have Haaland, believe it or not. Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe that is the best strategy to go Munoz and then Raya. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So we've got 3 Arsenal, 3 Liverpool. Then I would probably go for this spot here. We could probably go like Mikalenko. Is this in for 32? No. This is a 34 free hit we're just looking at very briefly. Triple Arsenal defence. You could do. I mean, I don't hate that, but I'd want Saka probably. Let me make those transfers. Too many Crystal Palace in... Oh, do you know what? Get in the bin. It's because all my future plans are going to screw this up. It would be like that, but I wouldn't be playing Mateta. I would be playing Huang. So imagine Huang instead there. That would be roughly at 3-5-2. But I can't do that because, sadly, my future plans, I've got too many Palace players and stuff. Oh, no, I've already got too many Palace players there, actually, haven't I? I need a goalkeeper. Pickford. Is that now okay? Oh, that works. Okay, optimized team. This is the way I would line up, probably roughly in Game Week 34. Raya, Van Dijk, 8 Nuri, Munoz, who knows, Salah, Eze, Saka, Erdegaard, Huang, Darwin, Solanke, something roughly like that. Could go Cunha, absolutely. Absolutely could go Cunha. How much money do I have in the bank? Yeah, so I could go Cunha in this spot, probably would be better, wouldn't it? I mean, would you prefer Cunha to Huang? Maybe. Maybe a 3-4-3 with Cunha like that. Anyway, we don't need to look at that too much now, but that's roughly what I'm thinking. I don't think it'd be too dissimilar to that in 34. But we might get some updated team news that makes us want to go for Diaz rather than Darwin. It may make us want to go for Trent instead of Van Dijk. But we'll have lots of money in the bank, assuming you don't want Haaland in there. I'm also tempted by Havertz instead of Raya, and then going for a different goalkeeper. But that obviously makes me lose a midfield slot as well. I don't like the neck on this t-shirt, chat. Looks a little bit saggy. Right, let's get back to answering your questions. Am I mad going Foden instead of Haaland? No, not mad. Foden's been in better form than Haaland, if you believe in form. Start 2 of Gabriel, Raya, Petrovic or Gusto. Okay, so Raya versus Petrovic. I'm going Raya at the moment. Gabriel versus Gusto. I would honestly start Gusto. But after Gusto, I think Gabriel would be above most other defenders for me. I just think with Gusto's attacking threat and given the fixture, if you're not starting Gusto this week, why do you even own Gusto? But there's no point owning Gusto. Did you stretch it out with your head? I think so. I think my head is that big that I've stretched my neck. There we go. That looks better. When to wildcard? If you've not already wildcard and you don't need it this week, it's GAMEWEEK 35 is the best week to wildcard. By the way, on captaincy, just to read out the results from the poll at the moment, Salah is on 35%. Palmer is on 43%. Haaland and Son on 11% apiece. So Palmer is still the most popular captain. And that's in a stream where the person streaming isn't captaining Palmer. I think if my captaincy was on Palmer, it would influence probably a little bit. So Palmer is definitely going to be the most popular captain this week. I will just say, if Palmer hadn't scored 2 penalties against United, or let's say they just didn't get any penalties in that game, I wonder how many people would be on Palmer cap. Let's say not only did Palmer not get 2 penalties, but actually Salah got 2 penalties. Again, I wonder where we'd be on captaincy. Well, probably Salah would have missed one, to be fair, because he's not great at penalties. But is Højlund a good transfer option? Yes, but not this week. I still do like Højlund as an option, but I don't see the value in bringing him in against Liverpool. Bench 1 of Watkins, Saka, Foden, Darwin, Solanke. That is an awful decision. I'd probably go bench 1 of Watkins or Saka just based on the fact that there's slight doubts. But if we get an update that Foden is unavailable, unavailable, if Foden's on the bench because we should get early team news, then maybe bench Foden. If my grandmother had wheels, she would have been a bike. It doesn't really apply, though, that saying here. Like, it makes no sense here because what I'm saying is the variance of getting penalties. It's not me like... If I'd have said, imagine Palmer hadn't scored goals, then obviously. But I'm saying strip away the fact that penalties are completely unpredictable and penalties are not a good prediction of what he'll do in the future. If he'd have scored an open play hat-trick, then I'm not going to comment. But getting penalties is so lucky, right? Especially, I'm not going to comment too much, but especially one of those penalties, didn't think particularly was a penalty. I just wonder how much that's influenced it. Because Salah's got better data. Salah's playing against arguably a weaker defence at the moment. I think they're very similar, to be fair. I don't think there's as much between them as some people are making out. I think it is largely influenced by the fact that he got 2 penalties. Did get an open play goal, though, but that took a massive deflection. Chelsea with 10 penalties given this year. I know, it's absolutely ridiculous how many pens Chelsea have had. Sorry, if I missed a couple of super chats, let me make sure that I get those answered. Is Salah still on penalties? Mac 10 lurking. Yeah, Salah's still on pens. I'd be very surprised if he's taken off pens. Lukey Boy says, would you burn a transfer or a Saka to Foden? Free hit 34, thank you. If you've literally got nothing else to do with your team, wait to see if we get any early team news. But yeah, Saka to Foden, if it's that or burn a transfer, I prefer that. Udogie versus Van Dijk. For this week, it's Udogie for me comfortably. He's just got a better fixture, and it's a home fixture as well. And he's got more attacking threat. I would definitely prefer Udogie to Van Dijk for this week. Hi, Ross. Couldn't make it to your last 2 streams, so just want to wish you a happy birthday. Better late than never, right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very kind. Really appreciate the work you put into your videos. Have a great game week. Thank you very much. That's a super kind message, MN Chuckster. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a fantastic weekend and game week. Saka to Maddison, free hit 34. No. I don't like Maddison as an option. He's getting limited minutes. He's not showing much attacking threat. I think there are better options out there than Maddison for me. Start Zabani or Bradley. I'd start Bradley. I think Luton will score. And I think Bradley's got more attacking threat. Believe it or not, I would have Bradley ahead of Zabani. Yeah. Will of It Sown says, hey, Ross and Mrs. Pickle. Signed up to One Future Football. Good luck with all the upcoming content this season. As always, thanks for all the content. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, we'll talk about One Future Football a bit later in the stream, but for anyone that has signed up already, I appreciate you. It's a bit different, I know. It's not just like sign up and spend money on this product, but I'm excited by it. I think it could be really, really cool. And if it does take off more and more and people enjoy it, maybe that I could even have separate YouTube content one day about it. But for the time being, I appreciate everyone that signed up. Jamie Archer with the super chat, but no message. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bradley or Gusto to start? Gusto. Start Bradley or Branthwaite? Bradley. Oh. Branthwaite. Branthwaite or Bradley? Bradley. Still Bradley. I'd back the upside. Is One Future Football free? Yeah, completely free. We don't have to spend any money. AI generated football scares me. That's fair enough. That is fair enough. Like the stream, guys. Thank you, Mr. Zodiac. Yeah, I'd appreciate if you could like the stream. Mean a lot. Would you change Saka? Who would you change Saka to if on free hit 34, no wild card? Foden, Gordon, Garnacho. But probably if you're looking for this week, Foden or Gordon. Start Saka or 8 Nuri. Saka. Hope you are good, Ross. I am well, thank you. Who would you start, Moniz or Zabani? Definitely Moniz. Moniz is a great, great option this week. He's playing against a very depleted Newcastle defence. He's playing at home. Good underlying data. Obviously blanked last week, but I think Moniz is a really nice option. I want to captain Son this game week, but scared of Salah or Palmer feast. Please talk me into it. I mean, I prefer Salah and Palmer, but I wouldn't put you off Son. I think all four of Palmer, Son, Salah, Haaland are great options. Moniz is the first name on my team sheet. That's a lie, Marcus, because if Moniz was the first name on your team sheet, you'd be captaining Moniz. Right? So by definition, Moniz is not the first name on your team sheet, is he? You're a cheeky little liar. Unless you're captaining Moniz. Wouldn't put it past you, to be fair. Not sure about Doughty or 8 Nuri. 8 Nuri. Moniz or Solanke? What to start this week? Still Solanke, because I think he's a better FPL option. But I think that's actually a little bit tighter. Palmer's points versus promoted teams is 12, 14, 18, 15. Fair? I don't buy into this promoted teams business. He's probably had penalties in all four of those as well. But yeah, I do think Palmer is a flat track bully. Against weaker opposition, he tends to do fairly well, which is why he did very well against Man United. Wait, I'm 790th overall. Yeah, what about it? I don't think that's relevant to what I said. Hashtag eggs. Thank you, AOFPO. I appreciate the super chat. Hi, Ross. What are your thoughts on Jackson for the rest of the season? Love him, but he is still on 9 yellow cards. He needs to get through game week 34 without getting booked. If he doesn't, and he gets booked in 32, 33, or 34, then he'll miss a game. 2 games, I should say. Start Moniz or Saka this week. I'd still start Saka there, but that again is close. Bench Gordon, Solanke, or Saka? Gordon. Step us through signing up to One Future Football. How do we support your team? I'll do that after the stream because I'm wary that I don't want to talk about that before the deadline. But if you are interested, I'll talk about One Future Football a little bit after the deadline. Because then I've got more time as well and I don't want to rush it. So if you are interested, I'll talk about my new job as a football manager after the stream. Not after the stream, after the deadline. Mrs. Raptor. Who are you captaining? Mrs. Raptor has no idea who she's captaining. Palmer at the moment.
I don't know. I have a bad feeling about the Man U Liverpool game.
What do you think Man United might win?
No, but I just don't think it's going to be as big as people are making out.
Fair.
I feel like it's going to be like a 1-0, 2-0.
It's a good question. Chat, what is the Man United Liverpool score going to be? Just type in the chat, Man United Liverpool. Do you have a permanent stuffy nose? No, I just have a blocked nose at the moment, but thank you for commenting. Yeah, my nose is very blocked at the moment. I'm going to call it hay fever. What shall I have them for? I'm serious. 2-1, 2-2, 7-0, 4-0, 3-3. Oh my god, I've never seen such a range of...
This is the thing.
No one has any idea.
Exactly.
I'm going to say 4-1 Liverpool.
Really? Well, I'm excited to be proved
No, I like it when we captain the same player because otherwise our weekends are very toxic. Otherwise, one of us is happy, one of us isn't. Yeah, there's so many different predictions there. If you're interested, look at the chat. I mean, there is every single score. Some people are saying 0-0, 4-4, 7-0, 2-1, 4-3, 2-4, 3-1, 2-2-1, 4-1. Like, there is literally every possible scoreline. There's 6-0, 12-0. I don't think it'll be 12-0, but... Raptor, at the moment, I will captain Son. I like Son. I mean, Son is 4th for me. Like I said, if I was to order them at the moment, it's Salah, Palmer, Haaland, Son. It's just my opinion on it. Porro or 8 Nuri, and look at Palmer's last 10 games. I know, Palmer's been a monster. I am fully aware, by the way. I would start Porro ahead of 8 Nuri. Yeah. Yeah, Porro ahead of 8 Nuri.
Did you say Forest concede most from the right?
Yes. Well done.
That's why I was thinking, I'll just bench you, doggy.
However, if they're conceding down the right and Porro's whipping crosses to the back post for you, doggy.
True.
But yeah, I would start Porro ahead of 8 Nuri, just about. Why not burn for Lascelles? Money, but Newcastle stink. I'm quite excited to jump off of the Newcastle defence, but yeah, Sheffield United and Burnley in 35 and 36, absolutely. I do like the idea of a damn burn.
Yeah, I might jump on burn, but not until like 36.
There you go. Maybe burn a bit later. Bench Darwin or Maniz? Ooh, I would bench Darwin. I think they've got very similar data actually recently, because Darwin's data's dropped off a little bit and Maniz is playing at home. Would I? Yeah, I'd start Maniz and bench Darwin there. Hi, mate. Darwin to Isak. Free hit 34. Not this week. I would do that in 35. Best goalkeeper this week. Good luck with one future football indeed. Thank you very much, Livs. Best goalkeeper for this week. Just this week. I have no idea. Is it still Raya? Just because Arsenal were that good? Maybe. I think it might be Raya, just because of how good they are. Mate, I can't think of anyone else, in all honesty. What are the fixtures? Fantasy fixtures. Yeah, I don't see any obvious clean sheets here this week. Maybe Pickford. I'll go Raya or Pickford. Start Udogie or Van Dijk. Udogie. Solanke hat-trick incoming. You heard it here first. I will sob hysterically. But there you go. I do think that Solanke will get attacking returns this week. I was lucky enough to dodge them last week. I think it's likely this week. Game week 35 is a good week for a wildcard. I also have triple captain and bench boost. Yeah, I agree. I think if you've got a wildcard left, 35 is the week to go. Maybe 36, but I'll just go in 35. Chris says, always value your input, Ross. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. Bench one of Zabani, Branthwaite, Bradley, Gross, already committing Dallo to the bench. I think you start Branthwaite and you start Gross. Oh, I mean, do you start Gross? If João Pedro's not on the pitch, he's on pens. But we don't expect Arsenal to concede many, if any. I would still start Gross because he's an attacker. I'd start Branthwaite. It'd be between Zabani and Bradley on the bench for me. And I think I would bench Zabani. Limited attacking threat. Luton usually score. And Bradley's got... I would play Branthwaite, Bradley, Gross. Just. Watkins to Cunha so I can do Richarlison to Salah. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Best defender to get this week with only bench boost left. Gusto or Van Heck. Or Branthwaite. Or 8 Nuri. One of my 4 defenders that I love. Actually, I don't have Branthwaite yet. 8 Nuri, Gusto, Van Heck, Branthwaite. Udogie, if you can afford him, isn't an awful option either. McNeil or Sarabia for Bowen over the next 2? Sarabia is the better option for me. Play one of Semenyo, Gibbs-White, and one of Porro, Doughty, Powell. I would play... Oh, that's a very tough one. I would play Semenyo ahead of Gibbs White. And I would play Porro ahead of Doughty and Powell. Shazam says, nothing to ask this week. So as always, thanks for the streams and come on South London FC, up the eggs. Shall I get them to... Because their nickname at the moment is the Ballers. Shall I get them to rename them to the Eggs? That would be pretty funny. Thank you very much for the support. As always, Mr. Shazam, I appreciate you more than you know. And I hope you have a fantastic game week. You deserve it for being such a kind person. Joshua Everton says, any news on if Ortega or Edison is starting? I think apparently Edison should be fit and available, but I don't know. We haven't heard anything. Hopefully we'll get some team news before the deadline. So the deadline is in just under an hour. We should get an update on whether it's Ortega or Edison, I'd imagine. Is 12:30 Haaland captain a mad choice? I don't buy this early kickoff nonsense. I don't. The borders, I like that. That's quite good. Let's actually have a look. Let's try and debunk this myth, shall we, about early kickoff. My belly is rumbling, chat. It's not a good sign. Okay, in early kickoff last week, Isak scored. In early kickoff before that, Isak got a brace. Gordon got 3 assists. In early kickoff before that, nothing happened because no one cared about that kickoff. Oh, it was game week 29, wasn't it? Early kickoff 28, Rashford, Fernandes, and Garnacho all returned. Game week 27, Palmer got a single assist. Not fantastic, but he did return. I think it's a bit of a myth. Watkins scored and got an assist in 26 early kickoff. In game week 25 early kickoff, Darwin, Gakpo, McAllister, Salah all returned. In fact, they all got multiple returns. See what I mean? In game week 24, Haaland scored 2 goals in the early kickoff. I don't buy into this early kickoff. In fact, I've not seen an early kickoff apart from 29. Did Son get anything here? Okay, maybe here then. But Richarlison got 2. Maddison and Udogie both returned. I don't buy it too much. I would just captain who you think is the best option. There's my input on the early kickoff. I think it's nonsense. Apart from the psychological perspective, obviously if Haaland blanks, you've got a long weekend ahead. Foden doesn't start according to FPL leaks. I don't really care about FPL leaks. FPL leaks is probably... I don't even know who that is. I'll probably... Let me see if I've blocked them first. I can't even see them coming up. It probably means I've blocked them. What's their... Someone just typed in their exact thing. FPL underscore leak 7. Let me have a look. Basically, if people get stuff wrong a lot, I just block them. Wait, the guy with 1 follower? I assume that's probably you then that's commented in the chat that says that this person knows. They've got 1 follower. Listen, follower isn't everything, but they're also following 0.
What was meant to be the leak?
The leak is apparently that Foden doesn't start, but they've got 1 follower and they're following 0. I would wait for something a little bit more reliable. I'll let you know if I get anything, by the way. But I haven't seen anything yet. Sometimes I do get the odd cheeky DM, and I will let you know. Yeah, nothing at the moment. Nothing that I can see. That 1 follower could be Foden. I mean, Claudette, you're not wrong. Could be Foden. I mean, it's probably not, but could be. Salah is fasting. That's why he was subbed. Good for the United. Absolutely, it could absolutely be the case that he was subbed because he was fasting. But we've seen him for multiple seasons now perform absolutely fine during Ramadan. So I'm not saying that that isn't the reason. But I think there is a... I think it's correlation, not causation. I think it could be that, but we don't know that. And I also think that if it was that, well, then he got a bit of a rest, right? And he should be fine for Man United.
I'm not gonna lie, he will be deep into his fast during that game.
Yeah, true.
He can't even break it during that game.
What time is it? Yeah, that is the worst point of his fasting period.
Yeah, you can't even break it, bless him.
Listen, I've set PBs before during a fast. Now, I'm not saying it's the same thing because it's like a 10-hour fast, but you never know, right? Salah could set a PB.
Is that including water?
Yes. Listen, I'm trying to build a narrative here, okay? Luke Aquilina has been a member for 3 months. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate you. And sorry for probably butchering your name. I tried. The Scan Legend. Is that your full name? It's cut off. Zabani Bradley to Gvardiol. Depends on your strategy. But assuming you're free hit 34, don't mind either of those. Saka to Foden or roll. To be honest, I'd be tempted to roll this week. I don't think any of those need to be made this week. But yeah, in general, they're all fine transfers. Apologies. Have you done the Will Captain choice thing? Not yet. That will be coming. That will be coming. FPL Harry tried to copy me. Go tell Harry that he's a copycat. Stop copying my Will. We're Hill. That AI laugh in the background, though. They're calling you an AI again. AI can laugh real realistically nowadays. Rude. Jay says, good morning. Oh, no, wait. I'll do yours in a second, Jay. I missed one out. Adam Selly says, bench boost with 8 Nuri, Bailey, Bradley, or start Gordon or Bailey. It's not an awful bench boost, actually. But I'd still be tempted to hold it for a slightly better week. I would start Gordon ahead of Bradley. Just about. Sorry, ahead of Bailey. Aston Villa have just been a bit off it at the moment. I mean, if Watkins doesn't start, that could be a bit of a massacre again. I say that. I mean, they're probably not going to get massacred against Brentford, but you never know. Sorry, Jay, morning, buddy. Does Salah always do well against United? Not thinking of switching to Palmer. Great content, man. It's all very organic. Thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate that. I think he's got 14 returns in 10 games against Man United. But we drew 0-0 earlier in the season. Wasn't his data through the roof? Let me double check this. But I think he had a lot of chances. Or at least Liverpool did. Maybe Salah didn't. Oh, it wasn't that great. He had 0.7. I mean, it wasn't that great. Still pretty good. 0.75 XGI against Man United earlier in the season. But yeah, it was 0-0. So he doesn't return every single time against Man United. Maybe Ten Hag's got some sort of strategy for... Let's be honest. Ten Hag doesn't know what strategy even means. But maybe he's got a strategy for dealing with Liverpool. I don't buy that too much. I think it's a bit easier for me to captain Salah because if Salah blanks, it probably means Man United have done fairly well, and then I'll be happy. And if Salah smashes it, well, then it's at least a silver lining of my team getting spanked. At least my FPL team has points. I think it's easier as a Man United fan to captain Salah here. It's kind of a win-win. Unless they win. If they win like 1-0 with a Gakpo goal, and I've got Bradley on my bench, my team lose, and Salah and Darwin blank. I mean, there is a possibility that it goes horribly for me. Anyway, am I tempted to switch to Palmer? Absolutely. I've not fully decided, but I'm like 80% on Salah, I think. Start Sarabia or Branthwaite. Sarabia. Raya or Petrovic. Raya. Saka to Foden with no free hit or burner transfer. If it's burner transfer or make the move, I would make the move. Yeah, Saka to Foden I would do this week. If I had literally no other transfers that I could possibly make. Hi, Ross. Start Garnacho or Tony. Ooh. Tony. I'd start Tony. Have your team before the transfer, but 0 in the bank. 2 free transfers. Any ideas? What? So you have Lascelles rather than Van Heck? You could make the move this week of Raya to Onana and Lascelles to Van Heck. I think that would give you exactly the money to do that, and then just start Petrovic this week. That would be what I would do, I think. Got a question. Can we do a poll on what goalie for this week? Yeah, sure, Shazam. Let's do that. Harry says your will breaks your computer. Don't care. Oh, my camera's gone. Yeah, we're going to run a poll on captaincy very quickly to just see what people say. Not captaincy, sorry, on goalkeepers. Let me end the current poll. On captaincy, most people are on Palmer, but Salah is very, very close in second. So Palmer 43, Salah 34, and then Son and Haaland about 10% apiece. Who would you start? Raya against Brighton or Petrovic against Sheffield United? There you go. Who would you start this week if you had my goalkeepers pairing? Any news on Foden? Nothing yet, but it's 50 minutes until the deadline, so we've still got plenty of time. Start Garnacho, Højlund, or Bradley? Garnacho, Højlund, or Bradley? Oof. I would go probably Garnacho. Based on current form, based on the fact that he's a midfielder, I think I prefer Garnacho to Højlund. And unless you expect a Liverpool clean sheet, I think you back the actual attacker. So I would go Garnacho. Do you know what, chat? I love when you make my polls 50-50. Makes me really happy. Honestly, really helpful. Please provide City team news. I don't have anything yet, but when I do, I will provide it for you. I've got my little researcher checking, I'm sure. Are you checking? Are you doing questions? Are you revising instead? Okay. I'm sure my little helper will let me know on if anything comes up on Twitter. Is the camera working yet? No. Oh, yeah, it is. Hello. Bench one of Meniz, Foden, Ødegaard. I'd bench Ødegaard out of those three, unless we get news that Foden isn't starting. Bench two of Gusto, Gvardiol, Romero, Gabriel. Such a hard decision. I would bench Romero and Gvardiol. I would start Gusto and Gabriel. Ahmed. But yeah, that is a very difficult decision. I don't envy you at all there. Mr. Curly Harris with the super chat gave me his team. Says 21 million in the bank. Is that supposed to be 2.1 million in the bank? Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah. I'm going to go with 2.1 in the bank. Free hit 34, bench boost 37. Okay. I mean, you could probably get away with rolling this week. It's back now. It should be.
Oh, okay.
Is it a bit delayed? I think it should be back.
No, I just saw something on Twitter. I haven't been on new stream, sorry. I was just checking.
Oh, no, yeah. My camera's back. Neto, Udogi, Verd. I mean, I don't see any glaring issues with that team. You've got Palmer, you've got Son. Haaland is obviously the only major issue here, but you've only got one free transfer and you don't have an easy route to him. I suppose Watkins is a bit of a doubt, but you've got... I like your team. I would roll the transfer this week. I don't see anything glaring that you need to do with that team this week. Unless you want to squeeze Haaland in for a -4. But I'm not necessarily sure. Oh, you did Maddison to McAllister a week. Okay, makes sense. Then, yeah, I would leave it as is. Salah feasting is a captain mistake. Oh, Salah fasting. Do you know what? I read that as feasting, and I think Salah will feast rather than fast. Oh my god, that's a funny... Not funny. That's like a Peter Drury pun. I can already see Peter Drury when Salah scores in the last minute saying something along the lines of Ramadan doesn't affect this man. Spitting bars like Stormzy. He feasts rather than fast, something like that. You know, I can already feel it. I can feel it in my bones. If you can hear lots going on in the background, Mrs. Raptor's decided to go on a mad one.
Sorry, guys.
Feasting rather than fasting. Hi, play Doughty or Bradley? Doughty. Start Tony away at Villa or Bowen away at Wolves. Oof. Tony for penalties. From Ramadan to Rampaging. I like that, Curly Harris. I like that a lot. Best replacement for Lascelles. Free hit 34, bench boost 37. Van Heck or Branthwaite? I went for Van Heck. I'll probably go for Branthwaite next week, to be fair, in place of Bradley. But I went for Van Heck for now. Van Heck's also got a really nice fixture next week. Bro, I just laughed out loud at work. Nice. That is the aim, to make you laugh. Or laugh, if you're from Birmingham. I can see it. I can feel it. He's cooking. Salah will be cooking it up. I want to. What was the? Is it the Nab? Is it Nabry? Who does the? I can't remember. Van Heck or 8 Nuri for Lascelles. To be fair, if you haven't got 8 Nuri in place, I don't mind 8 Nuri. Salah may be fasting, but he is feasting on the Man United defence. There you go. That is the Peter Drury sentence that's going to happen. It is Nabry. Thought so. Cool. Darwin and Richarlison to Cunha and Foden for free. I don't know that you need to sell Darwin this week. I suppose it funds Richarlison to Foden. Yeah, I don't hate that. What are your plans for future game weeks, Ross? Van Hecken this week. Next week, Branthwaite in for Bradley and Onana in for Raya is the plan at the moment. But we'll see what happens. If I get a couple of injuries, then I might have to deal with those. Is there any news on Watkins? I haven't seen anything yet. No. I think they just said that he'd be assessed. Yeah, no early team news at the moment, chat. Nothing that I can see anyway. But I will keep my eye out. Normally, Man City team news comes in a little bit earlier than... I reckon about 35 past, 35 past. I would imagine that's when we start getting some early team news. Captain Palmer. Love it. For me, it'd be between Palmer and Salah. Saka travelled. According to who? I've seen a few people, but no one that I really trust too much. Someone as Lazy FPL posted already. Let's have a look. I don't know if people are just making that up or... Oh, wow. Foden does not start for Man City.
Is that a reliable source?
Yeah, very.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, I'm devastated. Oh, sorry. I'm so salty after he twatted in that hat-trick. Game week 31. It ruined my weekend. Not even my weekend. It ruined my midweek.
Pep roulette, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, no. Foden's on the bench. Oh, no. Anyway, no, that is actually... That sucks for... to be honest, you can't... If you got his hat-trick last week, then you can't complain.
Yeah,
But if you just brought him in, then obviously that sucks. I need to message Chunks, actually, because Chunks brought in Foden this week.
Oh dear.
I just want to message my boy. Hopefully he sees it before the deadline, because he's not online at the moment. Let's have a look. Right, Russ getting cancelled now for Foden slander. I feel really bad. Yeah, so Foden does not start. Let me, do you know what? I'll keep that up for a bit longer for people that are just joining now, because I think that's a key piece of information. Where was my tweet? There it is. Okay, Foden does not start. Sorry about sniffling down the mic, by the way. I apologise. It's a bit gross. I'll leave that up on the screen for a little bit. Let me... Yeah, Chunks did Saka to Foden this week. He did that yesterday. To be fair, he then messaged me saying, kind of regret putting in Foden. Saka should play against Brighton. Foden is either getting 60 or 20 minutes. So he was spot on. He just, right. Foden does not start for Man City. I can just pin that for people that are joining now. In that case, I would start pretty much anyone else over Foden. I know he could get something off the bench, but he could also just come on for 10 minutes and do nothing. So I think if you've got Udogie, Bradley, Garnacho, Gordon, any option really, I would start them all ahead of Foden. I wouldn't sell Foden now because I think that makes it very likely that he plays against Luton at home. Yeah. So now my transfer for 33, it may well be Foden in for Saka. So I wouldn't sell Foden, but I certainly wouldn't be starting him then for me. Mateta, I think. How do you know FPL newsletter is right? Because they've been right on every other occasion apart from one. And the only one they weren't right on, it was about Grealish. And I think Grealish got ill in the warm-up. So they said something along that. How much are you spraying? I could just hear spraying behind me for ages. They said something about Grealish, but he got ill in the warm-up or something like that. And that was why there was a change. So every other time FPL newsletter have been correct. I'm not saying that they know... Like, there is absolutely no chance this is wrong, but I would back it to be correct. Sorry, I did shut the door. You're okay. Okay, right. Back to answering your questions. I'll leave that up on the screen for a bit longer, and then I'll take it off and show my team again. Sending support may go Saka to Foden. There we go. Now you're hopefully not going Saka to Foden. If you've already made the move, that sucks, but I guess Saka might not do anything potentially. Darwin and Richarlison, can you... I know I answered that one. I said no. Okay, you've given me your team, Kieran. 2 free transfers, 1.2 million in the bank. Any tips? It depends on what your strategy is moving forward. But no, I don't see any obvious... I mean, Kelleher is probably the biggest issue in your team. So I would replace Kelleher with Pickford or Onana would be my move, and then I'd roll the second free transfer, Kieran. Start one of Kivy or Bradley or Udogi. I'd start Udogi out of those 3 options there. Free hit 34 and 2 free transfers with Onana, Petrovic, Ryan, 8 Nuri, Udogi, Gusto's. Okay, you give me your team. No idea on transfers. Try to give... I will still try to answer them, chat, but try not to just give me your entire team and say help, because I can't do it quick enough to actually provide you with good help. If you're free hit 34, I think the issues potentially here to sort. Maniz longer term I don't like, but obviously not this week. Zabani you probably don't need to keep longer term. I would say Zabani to a better defender longer term. Van Heck, Branthwaite. That's probably it. Probably Van Heck. Zabani to Van Heck will suit you for the future, would be my initial instinct looking at that. But again, you don't need to make that move this week. Bench 2 of Saka, Garnacho, Udogi, Saliba. I would bench... Oh, that's awful. Saliba and Udogi. I mean, you're looking at potential bench boost there with the way that is, though. Right, I'll take that off the screen then. But yeah, Foden doesn't start is obviously the big news. Thank God Foden can't punish me too much this week. I say that, he'll probably score off the bench now, but at least he won't get a hat-trick. Dave says, did Saka to Foden this week? Pain, but I had 0 in the bank, so it allowed me to afford a Lascelles replacement, and I'd want Foden for that double anyway. It's not an issue as long as you've got someone on the bench. And most people will have at least one bench option. So if you did Saka to Foden this week, unless Saka goes big, and then you're going to be in pain. Unless Saka does go big, I don't think it's a huge issue for me. Start 3, Mikalenko, Gabriel, Udogi, Gusto, and 8 Nuri. I would start Gusto, 8 Nuri, and Gabriel, and I'd bench Mikalenko and Udogi, but I don't like that. Like, again, John, you're looking at a potential bench boost there. Based on those 2 defenders, depending who your goalkeeper is and your other sub, would you say he's more likely to play versus Luton? Absolutely. I'd say Foden's not nailed on now, but I'd be surprised if he's benched 2 Premier League games in a row. So I think he's more likely, at least, to start Luton now. Mateta, Zabani on, or stick with Foden start? I think I'd play Mateta. Although, do I expect anything from Mateta against Man City? I think I'd still play Mateta. I'd prefer Mateta for 90 than Foden for, like, potentially 10. I don't know, though. Maybe that's wrong. City are a great defence, but they always seem to concede. I'd be tempted to play Mateta. On Wildcard, free hit 34. Okay, you give me your team. Would you make any changes? Okay, Pickford, Flecken. I don't know about Flecken. I don't see the need for Flecken there personally. 8 Neri, Branthwaite, Van Dijk, Porro, Gabriel. Great defence. No changes for me there. Although, again, I wouldn't go Van Dijk, actually. If you're free hit 34, I wouldn't have Van Dijk. Salah, Palmer, Foden, Son, Saka. Okay, double Son. I wouldn't have Saka on a wildcard now. And I wouldn't have Semenyo on a wildcard. So there we go. Those changes would be, I wouldn't want Semenyo. Because all of these players, they double in 34 and you're free hitting anyway, Chris. So I wouldn't have Flecken. I wouldn't have Van Dijk. I wouldn't have Saka. I probably wouldn't have Gabriel in all honesty. And I wouldn't have Semenyo. Those would be, there's quite a few changes. I feel like you need to have a slightly better team for 35 onwards, which you don't necessarily have there. Like, if you look at your team in 35, 36, I don't think it will look that great with the team that you've built there. If the plan is to swap out Foden, game week 33, 34 for Diaz or Erdegaard, would you do it now instead? No, because I think he'll start versus Luton. I wouldn't do it, no. Personally, I would just either play Zuma or transfer Zuma to a better defender and then start that defender instead. That would be the way that I would view it. City defender for the rest of the season, please. I think Ruben Dias is the most nailed, but if you're not going for Ruben Dias because he's expensive, I think Gvardiol is still a good option. Josh says, good morning, Ross. Hope you're well. With Foden not starting, do I start Gordon? Barnes has been on fire. Gusto or leave Foden in? I'd probably start Gusto. Just about. I'd have Gusto in there. Chance for a clean sheet. Attacking returns too. I think that's a nice opportunity for you to get Gusto into your starting 11. If you are just joining, by the way, please make sure you drop a like on the stream. Make sure to subscribe as well. I do really appreciate it. There's 5,000 people watching and only 600 likes. We could definitely get that to 1,000. Also, the news that you've missed, Foden does not start for Man City in GameWeek 32. Sorry, I'm sniffling. I'm trying to mute myself when I sniff. So Foden does not start. So I would not sell Foden, but probably bench him, unless you want to risk that he gets something off the bench. Need to catch up on my mini league. Is Solanke captain worth it? I don't mind that at all. Luton are very, very bad, but Luton are playing at home. So I don't think it's as great of a fixture. If it was Luton at home for Solanke, I'd be more tempted. I would probably say no. I wouldn't go there, but I don't hate it. I think there are other captaincy options you could go for potentially. Hey, Ross, should I sell Maddison for Saka? I don't even know which way you're going there, but I would sell Maddison to bring in Saka if you're not free hit 34. If you are free hit 34, I don't love it. What do you think about Cambuala for Lascelles? Only have 4 million. Woody Cambuala will serve you well for the next few, but I mean, you don't want him this week. And then from 33 onwards, if any of our other defenders are back, Evans, Varane, Martinez, Lindelof, I would think they would all play ahead of Woody Cambuala. So I don't think he'll serve you particularly long unless all of them are out for a while. So probably not for me. Free hit 34, wildcard 36. Okay? 36, interesting. Douglas Luiz to Brennan Johnson or a £6.3 million mid. Yeah, Brennan Johnson could serve you okay. Yeah, maybe. I suppose if you're wildcarding 36, then yeah, I don't hate that. Brennan Johnson could be a decent option. Sam says, customary Saturday morning super chat. Bench Bradley or Maniz? I appreciate you being here. I would bench Bradley and start Maniz myself. 30 minutes until the deadline. The only early team news that we're confident enough to get is that, that I'm confident enough to believe is that Foden does not start for Man City. That is courtesy of Lazy FPL. So not my team leak or anything like that, but that's just my prediction. Not my prediction, but my trust in them. We've not got anything else yet, but I will keep you updated. I would imagine that Lazy FPL do tweet something else. That means that they've got the lineup, and usually when they have the lineup, they tweet a couple out. So I expect we'll probably get news around Haaland. We might get news around sort of Ederson, Gvardiol, maybe KDB. But yeah, I would imagine that we do get something on Haaland. Saka not travelled, Saka not with the squad. Unless you can give me a source, I'm just going to assume it's a little bit of trolling there, because I've not seen anything myself. How many people has Foden been transferred in by this week, by the way? Should we have a look? Transfers in. Foden has been transferred in by 500,000 managers this week. He is the most transferred in player. Actually, no, that's a lie. Isak has been transferred in. Wow. Isak's been transferred in by 505,000 managers. I'd like to get some Saka news, in all honesty. I still don't know what I would do if we get news that Saka's not available. What do I do? Because the move I'd want to make is to go to Foden. Maybe I'd go to Gordon. Maybe my move this week would be Saka to Gordon. What is Pickle doing this week, Ross? Pickle also did Van Hecken for Lascelles. but she is captaining Palmer, I think, at the moment. So very similar team, but yeah, captaincy's differing. Oh, it was Boona. Okay. This is why you have to mute. He is a melt. To be fair, Boona is a melt, but this is why you have to mute Boona. Yeah, it's FPL Boona, guys. Come on. You need to be more vigilant. He's not even changed his handle. His handle literally says FPL Boona. Come on now. Okay, there are people trolling. We don't have any information on Saka at the moment. Come on, someone give us some Saka team news. What time are Arsenal playing? They're at 5:30. This is the issue, I suppose, with trying to get Arsenal team news, is they don't play for ages. The only team news that we currently have... Sorry, my camera's lagging a little bit. The only team news that we currently have is that Foden does not start. There are people spreading fake news around Saka. We don't have anything on Saka at the moment, but we do have something on... No, it's not Chris Watts. It's Boona. Dear Lord. People can't read. I don't even blame Boona. I blame you. His handle literally says FPL Boona. You know? Also, Arteta is never reliable. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't trust Arteta. I'm just hoping that maybe one of the team leaks gives us something on Saka. Kelleher for Petrovic for -4. Plans a free hit 34. I assume you mean bring in... Okay. I assume you mean bring in Petrovic for Kelleher. I don't mind that too much. Pick one of Alvarez, Jackson, Cunha, Fofana, Forster. Cunha, probably. Cunha. Hi, with Foden benched, I need to play a fourth defender. Would you play Saliba when I already had Gabriel, or start Kilman, or sell Kilman to 8 Nuri for a -4 and start him? Thanks. I'd play Saliba. Play double Arsenal defence. It'll probably serve you well. Hey, Ross, Darwin or Solanke to Jackson? Darwin or Solanke to Jackson? I wouldn't sell either of them to Jackson. Neither. I definitely wouldn't sell Solanke, and I probably wouldn't sell Darwin. I'd just keep both of them. Start Darwin or Menez. I think I would just about lean Menez there, believe it or not. Home fixture against Newcastle. Just saw Saka in Morrison's in Brighton. No, you did not see Saka wandering around Morrison's. Maybe you did. I won't disagree. Maybe Saka does strike me as a Morrison's kind of guy. But I'm not sure I buy that too much. To be fair, Saka travelled with the squad last week when he wasn't playing. So he'll still travel with the squad, I think. Lucas says, the best midfielder under 6 million long term. Have Eze now, but wants to gain points from now until week 35 on Mini. I would go Sarabia. Yeah, best midfielder under 6 is probably Sarabia. Maybe Gordon. Maybe Garnacho. But I think if you're saying in the short term, it's definitely Sarabia for me. Paul says, morning, you beautiful egg. What should I do with Saka? Keep and start him for now, and if we get information that he is unavailable, not in the squad, then we'll decide what to do then. But I think for the time being, we keep and start Saka. Thomas says, in a bit of a pickle and need your help. I need to change Kelleher, Areola, Bradley, Estu, and Richer. I have Saka, Watkins, and Foden as doubts. Priorities, 2 free transfers. Wildcard 35, bench boost 37. So I think your priority at the moment, keep Kelleher and Bradley for now, because we don't yet have an update on Alisson and Trent. So I don't think they're issues right now. Estepinian, not great for this week. Richarlison, obviously not going to play. I have Saka, Watkins, and Foden as doubts. I mean, Foden's not a doubt. He's just not starting. Yeah, you've got quite a few issues here, haven't you? My priority would be sort out Richarlison. Up to you who you want to bring in for Richarlison. But sort out Richarlison and sort out Estepinian. So I would do like Estepinian to 8 Nuri and Richarlison to... Who would I go? Maybe a Luis Diaz? Potentially. Havertz could be a decent shout, maybe. Those would be my 2 priorities, though, I think. Best Lascelles replacements, I have 4.1 in the bank. Van Heck. That's why I went for him as well. Any news on Haaland? I don't think we've got any news on anyone at the moment. Other than Foden. And Foden doesn't start was the news. I thought Lazy FPL would tweet some more stuff. Maybe they will in a bit. Cool, my computer's lagging out a bit. Yeah, I can't see any other info at the moment. You're lagging. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I'm lagging. Don't think it's my internet, but it could be. Ross, is this the final team? Yes, I think so. Why do they drip feed the news? For interactions, for followers, for people to subscribe? To be fair, if I had news on a regular basis, maybe I would do the same thing. I probably wouldn't, but maybe I would. They'll get more interactions if they spread it across tweets, you know? It makes sense. Dan says, hey, mate, which one do you think I should bench out of Salah, Gordon, Palmer, Son, Saka, Tony, Solanke, Darwin? Wow. It's probably Darwin there. I think. Probably. Or Gordon. Oh, probably Gordon. Just about Gordon. It'll be Gordon or Darwin between those two. Are you going Petrovic over Raya over Petrovic? I'm slowly leaning Petrovic for my team. I just think I want to cover the Arsenal clean sheet a little bit. They're so good defensively. Like, I think I don't give them enough credit as to how good they are defensively. And I've already got some Chelsea cover with Gusto. It's hedging my bet slightly, and it's a bit of a weak-minded thing to do. It's just me going, I don't really know. I'll start the Arsenal one. Hiya, Ross. Bench Gusto or Gabriel? I'd start Gusto ahead of Gabriel just about. Let me quickly update this. To wind you up, mate. Facts. Is Foden 100% not starting? I wouldn't say 100%, but I would say 95%, because I trust the source a lot. But they could be wrong. Of course they could. You just never know. Currently, 52% of you think I should start Petrovic and 48% Raya. It's very close. Spin the wheel. Should we spin the wheel? Quick spin of the wheel? It's never too late to spin the wheel. I'm literally going to go, chat, because we've got not long now until the deadline, and also my computer's dying. I'm going to go for one spin only. Captaincy. Okay? One spin only. Who is the best captaincy option for Game Week 32? And then we'll get back to answering your questions. Just the one spin.
Oh no.
Erling Haaland. Okay, there we go. I said I'd only do the one spin because my computer's dying and it's late. But Erling Haaland, according to the wheel, is the best captaincy option. Just the one. Just a cheeky little one spin. Stop lagging. Bloody hell. Two spins. No, just the one spin. Just the one. That's what we said today. That's on Salah. We need a VAR check, don't we? Don't buy Apple products, kids. Yeah, it's a bit old, my Mac Mini now, and also it's not the highest process. It's not the best one. It's one of the. I should get a new computer. I need a new camera. I need a new computer. But I'm a student, so cut me some slack. You know. Right, are we getting any other blinking team news or what? Why has no one told me whether Saka's travelled with the squad or not? Anyone reliable, at least. Do I think Foden will come off the bench? My instinct is no. Because we see this with Pep a lot. When he gives someone a rest, he gives them a complete rest. So my instinct is, like we saw that with De Bruyne and Haaland as well. So I'm going to say no, but could he come off the bench? Absolutely. So if you want to start him still, maybe go for it.
Oh my god, FPL has my exact team.
Really? You don't like it when someone has your exact team, do you?
No, because I don't want people to think I'm like hella template. I mean, I am, but like...
You are hella template, I'm not going to lie.
So you pickle...
Whoa, why is it lagging that much? Is it just my camera? Is it... I think it's just my stream. Sorry, chat. My stream's lagging a lot. I don't know why. KDB starts via FPL Tony. Okay, let's have a look at that.
Oh no, Haaland's going to get like 6 goals.
FPL Tony says Haaland starts. That makes Haaland a... Sorry, De Bruyne starts. That makes Haaland a much better captaincy option. Okay, this now makes me feel very confident that Foden isn't starting as well because he's confirmed that. Let me... We've already had the will out to confirm captaincy. The will said that we should captain Haaland. All right. Foden does not start. KDB does start. There you go. I'll pin that message again for anyone joining late. But the news we have now is that Foden does not start. KDB does start. We haven't got anything on Saka or Watkins for people that are asking about those two. And yet we don't have anything on Haaland. But I would imagine if Haaland didn't start, then a lot of people would have already leaked that information. Especially as they're the early kickoff. So I'd feel pretty comfortable saying now probably Haaland starts. But the only information we actually definitely have is that KDB starts, Foden doesn't. I might have to keep repeating that for people that are joining late, but there we go. You've got just over 15 minutes until the deadline, by the way. Make sure you get those teams locked in. What do you think of Haaland captain? Really like him. Really like him. I mean, De Bruyne starting is massive for Haaland. We know how much better Haaland is with De Bruyne in the team. Ross, why are you advising benching Arsenal defenders? I'm not. I think the only defender that I would start ahead of Gabriel this week is Gusto. And I think that makes a lot of sense given he's got more attacking threat and a better fixture. Outside of that, I wouldn't bench Arsenal defenders ahead of any other defenders. Which is why I'm starting Raya. Raya. Why is no one talking about Son captaincy? I think people are. It's just like there's 4 good options. Just go for who your gut feeling is. Just seen Saka leaving and afters in Seaford bench. Some nonsense going on here. Yeah, I think I would start Gabriel ahead of any other defender in the game other than Gusto. But if you fancy Gabriel ahead of Gusto, bench Gusto by all means. Hope you are good, Ross. Who to bench, Saka or Udogie? Bench Udogie. Bench one of Gabriel, Udogie, 8 Nuri, Gusto. Udogie there. I don't like benching Udogie, by the way, but Spurs tend to concede anyway, so... Richarlison to Garnacho, Havertz or Maddison. The rest of my midfield is Foden, Palmer, Mo, Son. Garnacho, Havertz or Maddison. I think long term, if you're on the same strategy as me, I think Garnacho is the best play there. Gross or Morris, Bradley or Doughty. I would go Morris and Doughty. I'd back the 2 Luton boys. Morris and Doughty. They need a big result here at home, so I'd go for it. Hello, Ross. Greetings. Free hit 34. Should I get Gordon for Richarlison? Okay, sell Saka for Luis Diaz and benching Meniz. Thank you. I mean, Gordon for Richarlison is great. I don't mind Luis Diaz, although I don't think you need to sell Saka this week. Benching Meniz, I wouldn't do that. I'd try and start Meniz if possible. In all honesty, I'd probably prefer Meniz instead of Gordon this week. So if you're bringing in Gordon, I'd almost bench him then for Richarlison. Which I know is crazy. Sorry, benching for Meniz, I should say. Got 0.1 in the bank, so can't do Lascelles to Van Heck. Okay. Should I go for a City punt like Doku as Foden is benched? If not, who should I downgrade Saka to? I prefer Gordon or Garnacho or someone like that than a Man City mid. I don't think there's any Man City mids I'd want to go for outside Foden. And obviously Foden's benched this week. So I'm going to say no to the Doku style punt. Have we got any other team news? John Stones starts. John Stones starts. Just got confirmation from FPL Tony. Oh my god, this lag, man. Killing me.
Does that mean anything?
No, not in isolation. Could mean anything. Could mean Ruben Dias isn't in the squad, in the start 11. Could mean that Akanji isn't. Could mean that Gvardiol isn't, I suppose. Doesn't really mean anything in isolation because we don't know if he's playing centre back, right back, midfield. Could be anything. Will be interesting though. We can start to piece some things together. But yeah, so information that we currently have: Stones and KDB start. That in general makes the Man City team very strong, but Foden is on the bench. Foden out, KDB in for a -4. No. Not for me. Ward-Prowse and Zabani bench. I would just play... I wouldn't want to play Ward. I'd play Ward-Prowse ahead of Zabani, probably. I know it's not ideal, but I wouldn't take a -4 to take out Foden. You would just regret that next week. Anything on Saka, Ross? No, nothing on Saka. Right, let me update this. KDB and the Stones start. Foden does not start. There we go. Currently, I have the information on 3 Man City players. I'll keep my eye on anything else. Let me know in the chat if I miss anything, of course. I am probably missing a couple of super chats, so please forgive me, but it's close to the deadline, and there are multiple things to think about. 2 free transfers, bringing in Gordon for a Richarlison, okay? Should I bring in Haaland for Darwin or Menez? If you have the money, I'd rather keep Darwin and sell Menez, I think. What is the reason behind going Van Heck instead of Burn? £0.4 million saved. 33, I need to start Van Heck. So you say that 33 is the only week that Van Heck is better, but that's one of the only weeks that I really need a defender. And also, Brighton are a better defence than Newcastle. Also, Van Heck has greater goal threat. No, he doesn't. He has greater assist threat. Burn has greater goal threat, I suppose. I just think Van Heck's a better option for my team and when I need them. But I don't mind Dan Burn. Great option. Just not for me. Start Bradley or Branthwaite? I'd start Bradley. I know most people would say Branthwaite. I'd start Bradley. Would you bench boost Kelleher, Gvardiol, Bradley and Burmo? No. Not for me. You've got double Liverpool defence against United. Don't love that. Take out Saka and Watkins for Haaland -4. Yeah, I don't know who the other option is, but I don't mind that. I don't mind that too much. Yep, for everyone saying Stones starting, if you read the pinned message in chat, we've got KDB and Stones that start. Foden does not start. That is currently it. But do let me know if we get anything else. I'll keep my eye on it as well. We're looking probably between Tony and Lazy FPL for... Sorry, just interesting. We just seen the first One Future Football result of the season. It was a bit of an upset. Yeah, I'll keep my eye on it. Lazy FPL, FPL Tony, FPL Main Road are probably the 3 that we're waiting to see information from. If you see me go randomly silent at any point, I'm just checking to see if we have any info. Nothing on Edison at the moment. Menez or Garnacho? I'd start Menez ahead of Garnacho for me. Rosh, you missed my super chat. I've missed a lot of super chats and I can only apologise. I've answered all of the big ones, and I know that's not a great thing to say, but the only ones I've missed are like 99p and £1 ones and stuff like that because there are just so many to get through. I don't think I've got them all. Sorry. Already have Saka, Salah, Son, Palmer in midfield. Okay, nice midfield. Should I go 3-5-2 with Garnacho, Haaland, Solanke? Or drop Garnacho and pick Menez as the third striker in a 3-4-3. If you're on a wild card, I prefer Garnacho to Menez. If you're asking who you should start this week, I prefer starting Menez instead of Garnacho. By the way, if you're one of the 7,200 people watching, lots of people here right now, please drop a like and make sure to subscribe as well. I do really appreciate the support. If you've just joined, sorry for the repetition if you've not just joined, but if you have just joined, KDB and John Stones both start. Foden does not start. So if you've got Foden, I wouldn't sell him, but I would certainly bench him this week. Would you keep KDB this week? Absolutely. Absolutely. What's wrong with Zabani? Nothing, as far as I'm aware. Do you think Bradley will start? I think he will, yeah, but I think there's a chance that it's Gomez and Tsimikas. I don't think it will be. I think Bradley will start, but there is a chance that he's on the bench, which helps me with my decision this week. Just with that slight doubt, and obviously the fact that I think Man United will score, I think Bradley's probably the one to bench for me. Why Salah captain? Man United are terrible, and Salah's brilliant. I think it's very close between Palmer and Salah for me. But like I said, KDB starting makes makes Haaland a seriously good option as well. Because KDB and Haaland's link up is unbelievable.
That's making me a bit worried, actually. What's wrong with it?
Yeah. I think it'll be very swingy this week, personally. Do you know what? I'm going to try and reset my camera. I don't think it's just my camera, but that is lagging out like hell.
Not on your internet, by the way.
Let me do that. No, I know. I don't know if it's my internet or my OBS. I think it could be a combination of everything. Bench Saka or Gordon? I would bench Gordon and start Saka personally. But if you think there's a serious chance Saka's not in the squad, sorry, on the bench but not starting, then maybe you do bench Saka and start Gordon. But yeah, for me, I would always prefer to play Saka there. Penalty taker. Maybe that will help a bit. This top fit's very strange. 2 free transfers. Saka to KDB, 1 week punt. No, not for me. I don't mind that, actually. I don't think I can afford it, sadly. EO between Palmer and Salah is small. Yeah, I think they'll both be well over 100, Palmer and Salah. So if you own Palmer and Salah, but you've obviously only captained one of them, I think you'll want the other one to blank. Sadly, and I hate when that happens, but that'll be the situation. Grealish starts as per FPL Tony. Okay, it's a bit of a pointless one to tweet. But yeah, I assume in the place of Foden. So we could see Foden, Bernardo Silva, Haaland. Could see even Alvarez get a start, potentially. Maybe Alvarez will get the start. Okay, so let me update then. KDB, Grealish, and Stones start. Foden does not start. Can pin that message for people that are just joining. Do the captain wheel quick. I've already done the captain wheel. We just did one spin because we are too busy to do anything else. And the captaincy wheel suggested that Haaland is the best option. They clearly knew about the KDB news. We didn't even have the KDB news when the wheel was spun. I've now switched back to Raya over Petrovic. Might change again. Who knows? I know it's very, very tough, isn't it? Yes, 7-minute warning. You have 7 minutes until the deadline. Make sure your teams are locked in. Or at least that you have a rough idea of where you want to go with your transfers. Yeah, I know. This is very good for Haaland. Yeah, Grealish and KDB starting is about as good as it can get for Haaland. So if you're on a Haaland captaincy, you're feeling pretty good. Just seeing if we've got any other news. I know people want stuff on... People want stuff on... whose name am I trying to search in? Lazy FPL. People want stuff on Edison, don't they? But I haven't seen anything yet. I would imagine that Edison starts would be my prediction, but I don't know that. Is Saka playing? Got no idea about Saka. No idea, sorry. Bench 2 of Guardiola, Gabriel, Udogi, Nuri, Gusto. Goalkeeper is Petrovic. I can also bench Munoz. I would start... Sorry, I would bench... Yeah, I would bench Munoz because he's playing against Manchester City. And then I would bench probably Guardiola and Udogi. So I would have Gabriel and 8 Nuri starting, personally. But if you're benching Munoz, I suppose you can start one of the others. So, there we go. Isaac's been a member for 1 month. Says start Darwin or Garnacho and should I cap Salah? I like cap Salah and I would start Darwin ahead of Garnacho. That's why I've obviously done it myself. I switched to Haaland captain from Palmer based on KDB starting. I switched to Haaland cap from Palmer based on it. Yeah. I would agree that definitely makes Haaland a much stronger captaincy option. I don't know that for me it makes him better than Salah. But if you were very close to captaining Haaland anyway, that might push you in that direction. Hi, Ross. Start Pickford or Petrovic? I'd go Pickford this week. Welcome to the Van Heck Hive. Hopefully I don't need him this week. But yeah, from then on, decent option. You have got 5 minutes until the deadline, by the way, chat. Make sure you get your teams locked in. Make sure you got your captaincy, vice-captaincy sorted. We've seen recently vice-captaincy has been important. So make sure you think about that. Foden to Ødegaard for a hit, not on free hit 34. Yeah, do you know, if you're not on free hit 34, I'd be tempted by that one. Because you get Ødegaard in place for you. Should I transfer Maniz to Darwin? No, not for me. I'd just start Maniz. Are we not overlooking a Son captain? No, we're not overlooking anyone. We've spoken about all week that Palmer, Son, Salah and Haaland are all good captaincy options. I think they're all good. We've not overlooked anyone. I think all four have been considered with a good amount of care and detail. 4 minutes until the deadline. Not long now. How high is the EO on Palmer expected to be? 140 to 150%, I'd say, on Palmer. And I'd say probably 130 to 140 on Salah. Bench Foden, Garnacho, or Udogie? Foden. Bench Foden. Alvarez starts. Let's have a look. Was it Tony that tweeted that? God, you can see how much my internet's struggling. There we go. Yeah, Alvarez starts. Okay, so we can update the stream once again. Okay, unpin message. KDB, Alvarez, Grealish, Stones start. Foden does not start. Can he say if Haaland starts? I know. I mean, the thing is, if Haaland didn't start, they would have tweeted a long time ago. Because I think that's such a big piece of news that they'd want to get max interactions from it. But I could be wrong. Very interesting, though, that we've not got an announcement on Haaland. Let's just keep on Twitter and see if we get anything. But I would be very surprised if Haaland doesn't start. So just to recap, I should have pinned that. One sec. KDB, Alvarez, Grealish, and Stones all start. Foden is the only one that we have had confirmation does not start. I don't know if we're going to get Haaland news, which is funny. Imagine if Haaland doesn't start. No, he will. He will. He definitely will. Actually, I shouldn't say definitely will, but I'm pretty sure he will. No, Alvarez will play in midfield. Alvarez will play in midfield alongside KDB. No, I don't think Alvarez starting means that Haaland doesn't start. But we'll see, hopefully, in the next 2 minutes. Fingers crossed. I would imagine it's Alvarez, KDB in midfield with Haaland up top. Because remember, Foden's not starting. So I think Grealish on the left, Bernardo Silva or Doku on the right. Then we'll have KDB, Alvarez, and Rodri in midfield with Haaland up top. That would be my prediction. Could mean KDB doesn't start. No, KDB does start. We've had confirmation of that. FPL has gone down. Has it? Oh, why is my camera fully lagging out? Hello? I don't like that. If Haaland didn't start, they would have said. I think I would agree with that. FPL site's still up for me, but yeah, I would get your teams locked in ASAP, just in case. If it's not working on the site, the app might be good. Haaland starts confirmed. Okay, Haaland starts. If you want to captain Haaland, go for it. Haaland starts. Let's have a look quick. You've got less than a minute till the deadline. Probably not going to even get to see the tweet in time. Haaland, Gvardiol starts as well, if you wanted to start him. Haaland, Gvardiol, KDB, Grealish, Stones, Alvarez. Enjoy it. Good luck. Gvardiol starts. That is the other big news. And Haaland. There you go. There's your list. Foden on the bench. The names on your screen all start. And that is 11 a.m. done. At least we own him. Some people don't own him, you know. Right. Goodness me. That was hectic. Make sure you stick around, by the way. I'll continue to stream with my bloody laggy camera. Goodness me. That became a bit stressful towards the end, didn't it? But we are locked in. Let me tweet my team quick. Right.
Marcus brought in Stones.
Saka hasn't travelled Charles Watts. That's not Charles Watts, it's FPL Boona. Again, I implore you all to read. Please, dear Lord. The attention to detail. His name is FPL Boona. All right. How are we getting that confused? What's your plans this weekend? Go to the gym? Eat food? Do we have any other plans for this weekend?
Not really.
I'm very lucky. FPL Pickle's been with me all week, so we've not got to rush stuff this weekend. We've had a nice long week together. Right, Game Week 32 team. Let me just tweet this out. Done. Dunzo. Go like my tweet. Make me feel popular. Nice team, FPL Pickle.
Thanks. Captaincy is going to make this a very swingy game week.
Who'd you go for? Palmer.
I saw that Andy and Harry had Palmer on the whole stream and they switched it to Salah last minute.
Who did? Harry.
Harry and Andy.
Andy did as well.
Yeah.
Someone said Andy captain Son in my stream.
Oh, maybe you changed it again. I don't know.
Maybe there's about a different Andy.
Oh.
There are lots of Andys. There are about 15 Andys in the FPL community. Everyone's called Andy. Shazam with another super chat says, now for the rum and coke. Great stream, Egg. Thank you very much. No rum and coke for me right now. Shall I have Chinese or Indian tonight? Now, I myself am much more into Indian food, but I'm going to say Chinese. I'd quite like a Chinese tonight. No, okay. Let's talk FPL Captain Son. And he did Captain Son. Okay. Interesting. So I think we've got people captaining Palmer. We've got people captaining Salah. I've not seen that many Haalands, so Haaland's probably going to score a hat-trick. Let me just have a little scroll through. Yeah, Captain Salah seems to be the most pop... no, there's quite a lot of Palmers, actually. Not as many Sons. Actually, I'm seeing a few Sons. It seems pretty split, in all honesty. There aren't many game weeks that you'll see like this where it's relatively split. Wow, very split. Interesting. How often do you hit the gym? I'd like to say 6 times, but realistically, I never do it 6 times a week. It's normally 5 times a week.
He's a regular.
I'm a regular. I try my best, chat. Wife, please buy him a new camera. Can you please buy me a new camera?
I don't know.
99p. You've done 99p twice. And then you did a £5 super chat. You've paid £7 towards a new camera. FPL Cat says, morning Ross and Pickle. Me and the fam doing a tour of Old Trafford on Monday. Have you done it? I love that. I have played at Old Trafford, funnily enough. I've not done the tour. I've been in Old Trafford, I've been in the change rooms in Old Trafford, and I've played at Old Trafford, but I've not actually done the official tour of Old Trafford. So I hope it's good. You'll have to let me know on the next stream what it's like. Do you ever worry about low rank equals low views? Not saying that your rank is low. No. I get the second most views on live streams on average, which is pretty good. I mean, Oscar's got a better rank than me, Harry's got a better rank than me, but I think as long as you're not doing really, really, really badly, and I mean kind of like, and I'm not saying this is bad for anyone else, but for a content creator, if I was like 600-700k, then it's a bit like, why am I listening to someone that's not even able to break top 500k themselves? Your time seems behind. The deadline is long past. I know it's long past. Did I say somewhere it's not long past? I don't know. Just crazy people. Crazy talk. All right, this is my team, by the way, if you missed it. This is the team we're rocking in Game Week 32. I don't think my captain change went through, so it looks like I have Palmer, sire. Fair enough. I don't mind Palmer cap. It might be one of those where it's a blessing in disguise. Did Jamal to Van Heck and Saka to KDB last minute? I quite like that. I'd follow you even if you were top 10 million. Thank you, Claudette. That's the sort of loyalty that I need. Hey from Canada, 3 a.m, but I can't miss the deadline stream. Thank you, Kylan. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Does FPL Pickle start for South London United? She would if she wanted to.
So competition when they're playing.
Yeah, there is a link in the description. Don't worry, I'm not going to spend the whole post deadline talking about this because it's not like a normal. I don't get paid any money to talk about this, by the way. It's a job. So I don't even need to hashtag add this because I'm getting paid nothing to talk about it. But what am I trying to do? Twitter. Oh, wait. That doesn't work, does it? Let me go onto this one. And let me 1FF. So, hello? Stop lagging out. Just why? Why are you doing that today? I'll have to look into it. Maybe my computer does need to be reset or something or updated. So this is One Future Football. You're not going to be able to see that much of it, though. Maybe I'll zoom out a little bit more. Basically, I've taken the job as a football manager, but it's an AI-generated like virtual league. But the first game has already taken place, and Riyadh Stars lost to Tokyo 3-0. And that was quite a big upset, because if you look at the league last season, Riyadh were comfortably above Tokyo. I mean, Tokyo was second bottom. In fact, the only team that finished below Tokyo was my own team, South London United. But basically, there's a link in the description. All I ask that you do is, when you go onto One Future Football, sign up for it. It's completely free. Then you go over to Dashboard, which is in the top right corner. And when you go into Dashboard, this will come up and it will offer you the opportunity to support a team. I obviously already support the team because I manage them, which is South London. All you have to do is click South London, say you support them, and then that's it. And I'll update you every week with how my team are getting on.
Oh, Andy do Captaincy.
Yeah.
He switched from Palmer to Saints.
So, league table. We play tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. And this is the team that we're currently lining up with at the moment. We're playing at 3 at the back. I'm not a manager that's overly familiar with 3 at the back, but I think it will suit the team that we've got. So yeah, there we go. I'm excited for it, I will be honest. But yeah, the first game has taken place and Riyadh Stars lost at home, which is quite the surprise. But yeah, there's a link in the description if you want to sign up. Like I said, completely free. No money required or anything like that. Loads of donos. Okay, let me... oh, wow. The lag is not fun. Have you done FPL Challenge? I have. Let's have a look at that in a second.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, at least there's no deadline, so we can...
I made a team. I can't remember what it was.
Victor B says, very disappointed, Ross. How can you say live on stream that you don't have time to read the 99p and £1.99 super chats? I've been here for long enough to know that you're a cleverer guy. Shame. That's fair enough. The reason for that is about 30 99p super chats came in with 6 minutes to the deadline. And I appreciate that. I understand that that's still someone's money, but I'm not going to be able to answer all of them. And I explain every week that the closer you get to deadline, the less likely they are to be read out. And obviously, and I think this is a very good point, I would obviously prioritize someone that spent £5 rather than someone that spent 99p. And I know that's not a particularly great thing to do, but the alternative is I prioritize 99p and someone just spent a £5 and they don't get theirs read out. There's no good way to do this. There's always going to be someone that's missed. I don't deliberately miss them, by the way. I was still reading them out, but there were ones that got missed. I hate it. I hate the idea of someone giving their money and not getting their message read out, but there's absolutely no way for me to read everything out that close to the deadline. So there we go. I'd rather be honest than just ignore them. What I could have done instead, which is what most YouTubers will do, is just not mention the fact that super chats are coming in and just ignore them. I was just being honest that they weren't going to get read out. Thanks, Richarlison to Brereton Diaz for the ultra differential. Brereton Diaz has been very good recently. He really has. Already regret starting Raya over Petrovic. Yeah, fair enough.
I didn't even check what your team was.
Well, my actual team. Yeah. You said me you weren't watching my deadline stream.
No, of course I wasn't. I was uploading my tweet.
What, for the entire 2 hours? Outrageous. My girlfriend doesn't even watch me anymore. No, that's fine. I'm sure Andy's stream was great.
I wasn't watching.
No. I'm sure Andy's stream. Whose stream were you watching them?
You weren't watching anyone's stream?
No.
I
The lack of loyalty here. She's watching other FPL YouTubers instead.
had to redo my tweet last minute because I forgot to mention all my transfers in it.
Oh, fair.
Last minute, so.
Right, here is my team. Currently that I've... Oh my god, the lag, man. Oh, wow, that is zoomed in. Okay, this is my team for Game Week 32 FPL Challenge. If you're wondering why there are loads of Liverpool Man United players, they count for double. Ah, Storms was probably watching the deadline stream then. Good man, Stormzy. I kind of want Garnacho starting. Do I just go all in? Something like that. I'm going to go all in. Literally just Tarkovsky's the only one. Let me save my team. They get double points. It's like a double game week. I don't want to captain Salah, though. I want to captain someone different. I'll captain Bradley, because then if he smashes it, then I won't feel as bad that he's not in my starting 11.
My team is, I just checked it, mine's Onana, Maguire, Bradley, Bramthwaite, Salah, Luis Diaz, Fernandez, Palmer, Son, Haaland, Solanke.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to my team.
Yeah, I just checked it.
Ross is lagging out because Pickle is streaming Andy in 4K. Yeah, I know. It's all coming out now. It's a pretty cool challenge this week. Yeah, I do think it's all right. But, I mean, everyone's now pretty much forced to pick Man United and Liverpool players. So it's also not that great. Ross, you're not going to enjoy it, but I've done Saka to Grealish. Could work out very well. Could work out very well. Raptor, you're not going to... Oh, I've done that one. 0-0 is still 0. This is why I've gone for no Man United defenders other than Onana, by the way. Because I know Man United would not do it. Here's another £5. You think that many kids probably use the super chats because they trust you. Thanks for my £1.99 advice ignored. Victor, like, I mean, you've now given me £15 to just tell me that I should have read your £1.99 out. Be in my position, right? There's 5 minutes till the deadline. 30 things are coming through. You're trying to check what the team news is. You're also trying to read out other super chats. You're still trying to get through those. Other people are still messaging in the chat. That, like, there's only so much I can do. I do hate it. I do. And if you've watched my streams for long enough, as you say, then you will know that that's not me. I'm not someone that's just like, give me your money and I won't do it. Like, it does bother me, but I'm one person, you know? So anyway, I'll leave it there. But thank you for the extra super chats. And I am very, very sorry that I missed your first one. Hopefully that improves how you feel. You think Haaland will play more than 45? Yeah, I think Haaland will get like 90, to be honest. My prediction. He's just had a complete rest, hasn't he? So unless he is carrying some sort of issue. Oh, sorry, that was really loud, that cracking. Thank you for the support, guys. No, I do understand what Victor's saying, but I also disagree slightly. Have you got a link to your fantasy challenge league? Yeah, let me get that for you. League, options, administer. Okay, the code for my fantasy challenge league is, I can read it out, F2X1CR. F2X1CR. You can go type that in and join the Fantasy Challenge League. How would you feel if Salah scores 4 being your United fan? I'd feel devastated but happy that it was Salah. I always explain this. Like, I'm not going to be sat there like not caring that Salah scored 4. That would be delightful for my FPL team. But I would rather Man United win. In a game like this especially. Absolutely. Like, I hate Liverpool. Sorry, Liverpool fans. I'm a United fan. And I obviously support Man United. So I would rather that Liverpool lose. But if you were to say, what is your ideal situation here? I'd like Man United to win 10-9 and Salah to score 3 hat-tricks. It doesn't mean that I don't want Salah to score. I just want Man United to win. So there you go. That would always be the way I'd view this. How does this AI league work? Is it all just run on some model with XG? It's basically like an advanced AI engine. So they run like, you know, like in FIFA and Football Manager when they simulate games. That's what happens with One Future Football. So it's like a simulation, essentially. And yeah, they collect data as well. But to be honest, their YouTube thing might be live. Let me have a look if I can get that. YouTube, One Future Football. The first game was probably streamed. Let's have a look. Yeah, here we go. I can show you what you can get access to. So let me chuck this over here. You going to be able to see that? Cool. So this was the game that took place. Hopefully I'm not going to get copyright strike for this because it's not my content, but hey ho. So they show you the lineups, and then the game simulates. You probably won't be able to see this properly, but the game simulates with XG data provided, the amount of shots, where the shots took place from, the player ratings as well. And it gives you some pretty detailed info when the subs come in, when the goals happen. So that's how it's run. It's run like a simulation, essentially. So yeah, that will happen for my team on Sunday. And I'll be watching that simulation live and hoping that my team do pretty well. And I can obviously give instructions of what subs to make and stuff like that. But I've left it fairly basic for the first game. I've just given my team, the lineup, and the tactics. And I can't give all of the tactical information out because it's a little bit on the down low. But yeah, I can give some advanced information about which subs I'd like to make and stuff like that. But like I said, if you want to check out One Future Football, there is a link down below. The only thing that I ask you, and sorry for mentioning it again, is when you go on to One Future Football, if you really want to support, you have to say that you support South London United, which is my team. So go on to dashboard. Once dashboard loads, then go on to then click South London United as your team. If it's your first time on it, it will have a drop-down menu, and you'll be able to choose which of the 12 teams. So yeah. You can also train the players, by the way. I didn't show you this before. But so I own loads of different players, right, from different clubs, but I'm not going to train them now. But someone like, let's train Moyano, who's my second striker. Where are you, Moyano? Where are my players? Here we go. Renzo Moyano is my second striker. We'll click on him. Let's train his shooting today to make sure that he finishes his chances. I'm going to super train it because I've got loads of points. And basically that means that Moyano's performances will improve in the future. So he's going to go up to 100% rating now for shooting, and his shooting performance should be pretty decent in the future. So there we go. It's a really, 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 really good website. I mean, I've been playing it for like 6 months. This is the first time, obviously, I'm getting like really, really involved in it. But I love it. I think it's really, really exciting. If my internet would load, it would obviously help. Can you make a wildcard for after game week 34? Yeah, but like not now, I don't think. I think it's a bit useless now, but I will absolutely make a wildcard 35 video for sure. When I was a kid, I used to sim FIFA games when there was no football to watch. Exactly, like, I think if you're a proper, like, stats and football nerd, then you'll enjoy just simming stuff. What is the point in a simulated league? Please explain it as I don't really get it. Maybe it's like FPL a bit. It's a bit like saying, what's the point in playing FIFA? Or what's the point in playing Football Manager? I mean, there's no difference apart from you just can't watch the games. So I suppose if all you enjoy about football is watching the games, then you might not enjoy One Future Football. But I like looking at data and stats and stuff. And like I said, you get stats on every play. You can look at their XG, XA. It's basically, I guess it is a bit like playing FPL, but there is a fantasy game, by the way, for One Future Football as well. I should actually very briefly show you that because I enter that every single week. It's my favorite part about One Future Football. So these are all the cards I own, by the way. There are tons of them. I'm a little nerd. I've spent loads of my own money on one. Anyway, but there is a fantasy game. There's a free mode and a pro mode, and yeah, you can play it. So this is my pro mode team for. Oh wait, what? Oh, it's already been entered. Okay, I've already entered it from last week, but I had Aquino, Darlin, Holsink, Grava, and Biru already in there. But yeah, there is a fantasy game. You basically select 5 players. So yeah, it's a bit like they've created like a new Premier League and they've created a fantasy game to go alongside it, I suppose, is the best way to look at it. Oh, okay. Victor's done another super chat. Says, you should have read them in an order you received them or don't read any. You said that you only have time for the big ones. Leave it, just enjoy the weekend. Okay. To be fair, maybe you're right. Maybe it should be in order of when they come in. But I suppose then my issue is if like a £20 one comes in and I'm reading them in order and I just don't get time to, I can't not read a £20 super chat. That's just such a lot of money. There we go. I'm going to...
I think you can't win in these situations.
No, I agree, yeah.
I don't know. It's a difficult one. I think if you're worried, don't bother sending them, then that's not good for you.
Yeah, I know. I am sorry, Victor, that you feel like I've neglected your super chat and other people's. I didn't want it to come across like that. So if my wording made it sound like I'm not grateful, that is ridiculous to say because I'm very, very grateful. Even 99p makes a difference. But YouTube also take 30%. So 99p isn't 99p for me. Equally, £20 isn't £20 for me. YouTube take 30% of everything. That person in the chat is not FPL Harry, by the way. So there's someone in the chat that pretends to be FPL Harry. That's not Harry. Harry has a tick next to his name because Harry is now has over 100,000 subs. So Harry's verified on YouTube. You see the way Alex ND is in the chat? Harry has a tick next to his name. So that was not FPL Harry. So I've hid that person. There we go. What is your F1 prediction? Verstappen, Perez, Sainz, P1, P2, P3. Although Norris, hell of a lap in quali to put that in P3, but I'd say Sainz in P3. Sainz looks just... I mean, I bet Ferrari are subtly sat there thinking now, goodness me, we got rid of the wrong driver. But I mean, Leclerc is fantastic, but Sainz has been wild. Can we do a poll to mute Victor for the day? No, poor Victor. Victor's having a tough time. Let's not mute Victor. The fake Harry is making the rounds. Saw him lurking on Black Box. The thing is, I've now muted and hid 4 FPL Harry accounts. So he's just creating new accounts, this one guy pretending to be Harry. It's a bit weird. Like, what are you doing? Where do you reckon Sainz will end up? In 2026, Audi, but I don't know where he's going to be in 2025. He's not just going to want to do a season with Kick Sauber, is he? I don't know. I mean, if Aston Martin actually had any sense, but Lawrence Stroll's not going to do this, then they'd have him at Aston Martin instead of Lance Stroll. I don't know. Where do you think Sainz will end up? I've got no idea. Did the mods swing the ban hammer? On who? No, you've not. Spin the wheel to mute Victor. Poor Victor. No, Victor's upset. I don't want to mute Victor. Victor's well within his right to complain. I have no issue with people complaining. Thoughts on Audi joining? I love it. I love Audi joining. Audi and Aston Martin on the grid's nice. I like that. You disappeared. I'm back. Can we all agree that F1 has been pants for years? In terms of competitiveness for the title, absolutely, right? 2021 was the last season, but I don't think it's pants, but it's certainly less exciting. I think we'll still probably try and wake up for the Japanese Grand Prix tomorrow. Are we going to do that?
I would like to.
We're going to try and wake up for the... by the way, I have an F1 neck. If you want to see the world's widest neck, my neck is 16 to 16 and a half inches. To put that into perspective, if I were to just buy a shirt that didn't have a specified neck, it's about an extra large shirt. But I am a size medium. Why is my neck that thick? Like, what is the point in it? But anyway, I think I'd be a good F1 driver because they have to have very sturdy necks. Look at that. There's muscles popping out of it as well. Chat, does anyone know what that muscle's called? Fun fact for you. It's called the sternocleidomastoid muscle. Don't know why I told you that, but there you go. Weird neck. Sternocleidomastoid, isn't it? Oh. I thought you were going to tell me I said the wrong name. Oh. The weight of the egg needs a strong neck. Do you know what? You genuinely probably are correct. I genuinely think my neck is probably quite thick because my head is so large. I do have a big egg. Thoughts on Alex Albon and Sargent car swap? Listen, Williams aren't going to get any points from Sargent. So as harsh as it seems, just get Alex the best car possible at all points. So I'm all aboard it. I know it seems savage, but Sargent's just not getting anywhere close to the top 10. Only Ross would humble brag his neck. I don't think a thick neck's a good thing. Do you like cricket? I don't, sad. Well, I don't dislike it. I'm not really into it. It's to rotate your head and also offer protection to the carotid artery. Carotid artery. There you go. Carotid artery. True. FPL Pickle is a medical professional. She'll know all of this. Come give us some medical advice.
About what?
I don't know. Cheers, Raptor. I've got to go. Thanks so much for the stream. You're welcome. You should do F1 live streams. I would like, maybe when I go full-time YouTube, I'll do that. Are you behind the green screen?
Could you see that?
No, I could just, I saw the green screen like wiggle. Is 16.5 large for a neck? I thought it was average. What is the average neck size men UK? 14 to 15. An average neck size of 16 indicates higher risk of sleep apnea. Oh. Oh no. Yeah, average for men is 15. So it's an inch and a half bigger than...
Really? So I think that's more related to obesity then, rather than just having a naturally big neck.
Pickle.
What?
Pickle. It's 1.5 inches bigger than average.
Nice.
Chat. Chat. It's 1.5 inches bigger than average. Are you going full-time YouTube? I've still got like 2 years left of my PhD. still like 2 years left of my PhD, so I need to finish my PhD first. And then after my PhD, yes, the plan is to go full-time YouTube. One and a half inches is massive, to be fair. It is huge. Huge.
You know what they say about men with big necks?
If you missed that, Pickle said, you know what they say about men with big necks? Big heads. Chode Raptor. All right, Billy. What's the PhD in? Sport psychology. I'm looking at the role of virtual reality in Premier League football. Great PhD. It's very interesting. It's been a bit tough though. I'll be honest.
You're smashing it though.
Thank you. Great. I'm now at Great. I'm now at increased risk of sleep apnea. Good stream. Thanks.
I really think that's just to do with being fat.
My partner is watching you downstairs. Can you say her name to surprise her? L Watson. Is it L? Is that EL? Yeah, I assume it's L. L Watson, hello. Good to see you. Not good to see you, I can't see you, but good to have you on the stream. VR has a limited role in pro football. I would disagree. We're working with a few Premier League clubs that are currently using VR. 4 Premier League clubs, in fact. 12 Premier League clubs are using VR at the moment, but we're working directly with 4 clubs. How old are you? Doing well with so much going on. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm 20. I turned 27 last week. 27. At 27, we're listing my achievements the other day. I'm doing a PhD. I've written a book, published author. What else have I done? YouTube channel. Pretty cool. Yeah, played for a Premier League club for 8.5 years. Played for Spurs. I mean, this is the bragging session, but I do feel like I've achieved quite a lot. Yeah, at 27, it's been quite an eventful life for me. I'm very busy. I've always got something going on, which is fun. I mean, who starts a YouTube channel during a PhD? That sounds like a terrible idea, but there we go. You've met Maya Jama. I haven't met Maya Jama. I've met Stormzy, but I've not met Maya. Did I just miss the deadline? The deadline's at 11, as always, sadly. So you're half an hour late. What would you tell your 23-year-old self? It's just stop stressing over small things. Small things never matter. I mean, I would like to tell myself that now as well, because I'm a bit of a stress head, to be honest. I get a bit anxious over like little things. I'd like to tell myself that those things don't matter, but it's easier said than done. And you have a girlfriend like FPL Pickle. I mean, that's the greatest achievement of all, really, isn't it? That is the greatest achievement of all. What's that?
I'm the lucky one.
Oh, she said, I'm the lucky one. Isn't she sweet? Isn't she sweet? Yeah, hopefully you'll see FPL Pickle next season, maybe, if she's feeling brave. Man City lineup is not going to be tweeted. Oh, here we go. Haaland, Grealish, Alvarez, Bob, De Bruyne, Rodri. Oh my God, Bernardo Silva's on the bench as well. Gvardiol, Diaz, Stones, Lewis. Okay, Edison doesn't start either. Okay. A few surprises in there. So no Edison. Edison's on the bench. Bernardo's on the bench. Doku's on the bench. Akanji's on the bench. Foden's on the bench. Oscar Bob getting a start. I look at that team and that is just handmade for Haaland. Bob, Alvarez, Grealish, De Bruyne, I think they all suit Haaland.
Yeah.
So I think Haaland could go fairly big, is my prediction, based on that lineup.
Yeah. I feel bad for Frosty right now.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you want to see the Palace lineup? Yep, Palace. So Elise should be on the bench, I think. Yeah, Elise on the bench. Eze starts. No real huge surprise. I mean, that back line. Oh, that Crystal Palace. I don't know how they still defend well. Because they're playing an awful team there. That defence is a mess. Even their midfield's not good. Oh, I should have captained Haaland. Oh, God. The more I look at this, the worse the decision feels. Is FPL Pickle still high up in rank? What are you ranked now? 8K?
9.4k.
9.4K. So she's...
I'm doing good, but I've been struggling. I've been at the same spot for weeks.
Yeah, she's still top 10K, but she's stagnating a little bit. But it's difficult at that rank, to be honest. I remember last year I was 99th at one point, and I finished 10.1K. So... Hey, Ross, hearing you talk about psychology made me interested in it, and now I'm taking a psychology course at college. That is awesome. I hope you love it. It's just so interesting to me to understand how the human mind works and how we behave. It's the only thing... I can't think of a single other course that you could possibly do that is just directly relevant to everything you do. Maybe like a biology medical course, but then some people don't care about what's going on inside their organs, I guess. But I guess psychology for me is the only thing that, like, every single thing that you do, think, say, feel... Psychology can make sense of that, so that's why I love psych. It's just so relevant to what you do.
It's such an amazing subject.
Yeah.
I loved it so much when I did it.
Yeah, it's just everything. I'm just like, oh, that's why I say that. Oh, that's why I feel this way. Oh, that's why people. It's just like I'm always fascinated when I hear about different psychological things. But yeah, I'm a little bit biased, I guess. Engineering, yeah, engineering I suppose is, but it's not directly relevant to absolutely everything. This isn't me putting down anyone's degree, by the way. I'm not saying psychology is the best degree. I just think it's the most relevant to you as a person. Physics. Do you know what? Physics, you are correct. Physics is technically relevant to absolutely everything.
I am so jealous of people who are good at physics.
Yeah, I know.
I'd love to be good at it, but I struggle with it so hard.
When I read... oh my God, why can't I remember the name of it? Theory of Everything is the name of the film, not the book. What is the name of the book? Why can I not remember A Brief History of Time. Dear Lord, that blank in my head. I've read it twice as well. A Brief History of Time is one of the best books I've ever read, but also one of the most confusing books. But if you are happy to just accept that you won't understand everything, or you've got a good base in physics, I definitely encourage you to read A Brief History of Time. It's so, so good. The chapter on black holes towards the back of the book is just blows my mind. You're a lecturer as well, right? Yeah, I lecture in sport and exercise psychology alongside my PhD. So as part of my... They pay for my PhD. In return, I lecture for them. So yeah, I'm a lecturer and PhD student, basically. The Power of Now is a very good read for the mind. I agree. There's lots of good reads. I always will say that my favourite book of all time is Why We Sleep, though, right? I think I've said that enough times on my streams. But Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker is beautiful. Just such a good book. My team sucks like a black hole sometimes. Facts. Me too. Alvarez ain't starting. I don't know where that news came from. Wait, what? I swear he was in the starting lineup. Man City. Alvarez is in the starting lineup. What are you talking about? Why We Sleep is now added to my list. Oh, guys, I've read it 3 times now, and every time I read it, it gets better. It's so good. Like, so good. But it will make you highly anxious about not getting 8 hours. Because it's like, if you don't get 8 hours of sleep, you're going to die, basically. And it makes you really... Like, I do value sleep anyway, but the weeks and months after I read Why We Sleep every time, I get into this habit of, like, I have to sleep for 8 hours. Otherwise, I feel like really, really like anxious. So it's not good in that sense, but it will make you really prioritize sleep because you realize how important sleep is. Whether it be for recovery, muscle growth, whether it be for decision making, like the importance of decision making in our life cannot be understated, by the way. Like little micro decisions that you make every day, and the more sleep you get, the more you get, the better the micro decisions. But also for things like dementia, Alzheimer's, cancer, much less likely to get those if you get good sleep over a long period of time. Have you read The Subtle Art of Not Giving a... Yes. Mark Manson, is it? Is it Mark Manson? Yes, it is. Mark Manson. Yeah, it's a great book. Although, my issue with that book and some other books is that I kind of feel like you could just read the first page and you get the idea of it. The subtle art is just don't give a F, right? That is, so it's quite a long book for saying a very easy thing. What are some other books I like? Good question. Die with Zero, I think, is a great book. 4,000 Weeks is another great book, which is basically how long you're alive for. And it says to basically focus on having good, enjoyable experiences, adventures, stuff like that. Happy Sexy Millionaire. Diary of a CEO, I recently read. That was very good by Stephen Bartlett, if you like him. Lots of books. Psychology of Money. Morgan Housel is one of my favorite people in life. So yeah, Psychology of Money is great. I love Morgan Housel. Any podcast that Morgan's on, I listen to. He's the guy that wrote Psychology of Money. Think and Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman, great book. I sound like a right nerd, so I'm gonna stop. I was in a lecture the other day, 200 people, and we were talking about habit formation. And I said, show of hands if you've read Atomic Habits, right? And no one put their hand up, right? And I was like, oh, no one's read Atomic Habits, that's fine. And I was like, just out of interest, show of hands if you read. 2 or 3 people's hands went up. It's just mental to me that like 195 people in a lecture hall don't read. But no one reads anymore. I think our attention spans are shot from TikTok. I think that's literally it. TikTok's killed us. But if you don't read right now, I would recommend you read. Hi, Raptor. Love the content. Fellow PhD candidate here in anthropology. Very, very nice. Nice to know there are some fellow PhD candidates. 27k at the moment. Interesting. So a better rank than me and probably doing a better PhD. So respect. Sleep is overrated. We will all sleep when we die. I mean, with that attitude, it's a horrible thing to say, but you're much likely to die sooner. But, I mean, if you don't want to sleep, you don't have to. I only get about 4 hours sleep on average. Working for the NHS doesn't help, but I think I'm adjusted to it now. Big props to you, because I know there are some people that genuinely can't sleep. I know it's quite a privileged thing for me to say get 8 hours when some people can't, but I would still encourage you to get more than 4 hours, if possible. I think 4 hours, you're looking at real bad long-term issues there. 6 hours is kind of still bad, but doable. But anything less than 6, you're going to start to really struggle. The thing is, this is the last thing I'll say on sleep. You might think you're doing fine. I'm someone that can function on like 2 hours of sleep. But whilst you think you're doing fine, you don't know the long-term damage you're doing to your body. And you really are. And even if like you're trying to go to the gym and stuff, you're going to get no muscle growth if you're sleeping for 4 hours. I just would be careful. I think sleep is the most underrated thing in the world. Like people will say like, do this with your diet, do this at the gym. And they're like, if you're not getting 8 hours, then your muscles aren't going to recover properly. So yeah. What's the best uni in the UK for sports psychology? Probably Loughborough, I would imagine. Still. Brunel's pretty good for sports psych. Even Sheffield Hallam's pretty good for They're pretty good for sports psych. Bangor was where I did my masters. That's very good for sports psych. I probably missed somewhere. But yeah, Loughborough and Brunel are 2 very good unis for sports psychology. But I can't sleep longer. If you can't sleep longer genuinely because you're working that many hours, then you just have to get through that. But I would implore you in the future to try and find a way to get more sleep.
I imagine they're like a nurse or something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do get that. Listen, if you've got a job where you're working shifts and you've got a family and all of this stuff, then again, I know it's from a very privileged perspective. Oh, I see. Clarky, you're saying that you just can't sleep for longer. I would maybe consider seeing your GP then. If you genuinely have time to sleep, but you can only sleep for 4 hours, then I'd say you've got some sort of insomnia there. But I'm not a doctor, so I don't want to prescribe that. But that says insomnia to me. Getting very little sleep at the moment. Have a 2-week newborn. Oh, I think that's just part and parcel of life. I think when you have a newborn, you're not going to sleep much. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. Yeah, Clarky, I would go see a doctor, genuinely. That would be my advice. Or see some sort of medical professional, because you should be able to sleep for longer than 4 hours. What do you make of sleeping tablets? I'm not going to comment on that. I know that there are real issues with them long term, but I'm not a medical professional. I've got no idea.
Yeah, I would not recommend Zopiclone.
Oh, here we go. We've got a medical professional.
Any medical professionals out there that know what I'm talking about? It's a very potent.
What's it called? Zopiclone.
Zopiclone. It's what people use when they got really bad.
FPL Pickle said she would not recommend Zopiclone.
I mean, it's not ideal. You'd rather not be reliant on a drug like that, but I mean, if you're struggling, then
Oh, sorry, I've only just seen Kay's super chat. So enthusiastic about your journey as a manager. Good luck, our lovely egg. Sorry if you're still in the chat, Kay. I completely missed that. Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, don't take Zopiclone is the advice that we've given you. Drink less caffeine before 3. So the half-life of caffeine is 6 to 8 hours, right? So what that means, sorry, I'm getting really nerdy here. People are probably going to click off. The half-life of caffeine is basically, after a certain amount of time, half the caffeine's still in your system. And the half-life is 6 to 8 hours. So if you drink a cup of coffee at 3 p.m., 6 to 8 hours after that, half of that coffee, half the caffeine in that coffee will still be in your system. So if you're trying to go to bed at 10 p.m., you'll still have half of the coffee caffeine that you drunk then. So if you imagine, if you have 2 coffees at 8 p.m., you've essentially still got all of that caffeine in your system when you're trying to sleep. So I don't think people realize how bad caffeine is for trying to get to sleep. I think it's 6 to 8 hours. Let me double check that. Caffeine half-life. Oh, this 5 hours, 1.5 to 9.5, depending on the person and the amount. Yeah. So maybe slightly lower. 5 hours, this website. Oh, no, this website says 7. Let's say between 5 and 8 then. But even if it's only 5, if you're having a coffee at 6 p.m., that means at 11 p.m., half of that caffeine's still in your system. This part of the stream is much better than the Deadline Madness. I'm getting a little bit nerdy and academic, though.
This is my vibe. This is where I join.
Does alcohol and coffee affect your lifespan?
Yes.
Coffee, no.
Coffee, no.
Coffee, actually, yes. Coffee actually can increase your lifespan, is the latest. There's not great research into that. But
Decaffeinated coffee, though, mind you.
yeah, just coffee beans, the actual, the coffee, not the caffeine, the coffee is really good for you, actually. There's lots of really good studies for coffee now. But yeah, you don't need the caffeine part. Decaffeinated coffee would work. Alcohol, terribly. Yeah, really badly will affect your lifespan. But it depends how often, right? If you're drinking once every 3 months and it's a very small, moderate amount, then no, that won't affect your lifespan. Rap, did you give career advice too? I can try. I mean, I'm only a 27-year-old. I'm not like a 60-year-old wise person that's lived a whole life, but I can try. Yeah, screen time as well. Very, very important. Because what is the bright screen is telling your eyes is it's daytime. You have to realize how primal human beings are. That we're not meant to have screens. I'm not meant to be streaming to thousands. This isn't the way humans were made. So when our brains see bright light, our brains see bright light and they think it's daytime. So your brain starts thinking, no, I shouldn't be sleeping right now. My wife even starts to listen to Ross after 11 a.m. Thanks, that's good. Yeah, FPL Pickle is a sober pickle. She stopped drinking 3 and a bit years ago, right?
Nearly 3 years ago.
Nearly 3 years ago. Okay, nearly 3 years ago. I'm a med student. Does Pickle like Pass Med as well? I'll let her comment on that.
I was using Pass Med yesterday.
She loves Pass Med, bless her.
I mean, it's got to be done. It's got to be done. Big up med students.
I would listen to this for hours, waiting for you to become a full-time YouTuber. I'm thinking about making not an FPL, I should say, a YouTube channel where I talk about more stuff like this. It's tempting. I do love kind of just nerdy chats. I've read so much in my life. Like I read a lot of books, and so I have a lot of knowledge seeping. Not necessarily that I am sure applies that well, but just a lot of stuff that I could say. I'm not sober, but haven't been drunk in 6 years. Well done. I mean, it's a good start. I mean, to be fair, for most people, they don't need to be fully teetotal, but obviously in moderation, it's much better than in large quantities for sure. I'm not sober, but I really don't drink very often. I mean, I'm talking once every 2 to 3 months, and when I do, it's often like the other day I had 1 rum and coke, and then I was like, I don't really want any more. I just don't enjoy it that much. But obviously, it's not that easy for everyone. I'm fully aware how horrible it can be to try and give it up if it is something you're dependent upon. Waji Yusuf, sorry for butchering your name. Wahi or Waji? welcome to being a Rap Tier 2 member. I do appreciate you. Pickle, haha, I'm?
Sorry, I sent the message too early.
You're okay. This is the Huberman side of Ross, and it's so good. You were literally drinking on stream. I know, I had one. It was the first bit of alcohol I've had in... Do you reckon it was since New Year's?
Yeah, and to be fair, I literally had one can and that was
I had one can. It was the first time since New Year's Eve, so yeah. Pickle is an ironic name for a teetotaler.
Is it? Oh, I don't get that. I've been done.
I don't know. Pickle.
My brain's in a pickle all the time. So.
Thank you. It's pronounced the J. Waji. Is it Waji? Is that right? Sorry. Tell me if, as I'm saying it there, is phonetically correct. But welcome. I quit drinking at Christmas. Can't do it anymore. Well done, FPL Scoped. I'm proud of everyone that's going on their own journey to give up whatever addiction it is, by the way.
I might bring it up on Twitter because it's a bit of a niche thing, but I'm sure there's people out there that want to talk about it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think regardless of whatever your addiction is, if it's unhealthy and you're striving to better that, I'm proud of you, whatever it is. I'm proud of you, whatever you're doing in your life, but especially if it's striving to become a better person mentally, physically. I wouldn't say I've had many addictions in my life, but I try to... I mean, I am addicted to a lot of things, but luckily most of them are healthy. Like, I'd say I'm addicted to the gym. I'm addicted to FPL, but for the most part, I think that's largely positive. But I think if any time you start noticing it having negative effects on your life, then that's when you need to try and nip it in the bud. Oh my God, Pickle doesn't drink and she still puts up with you, Ross.
Oh, he helps me, honestly.
I'm not that bad, chap. I would say I'm a pretty good boyfriend, chat, if I do say so myself.
He keeps me sober, to be honest.
My addiction is gaming. Yeah, I've had that at points as well. That's why I stopped playing Foot Champs, by the way. If anyone plays FIFA, then they know. I stopped playing Foot Champs because it was driving me mental. I'm addicted to unhealthy food. To be fair, I'm addicted to a chicken Rogan Josh. In fact, I'd get it now if I could. Like, I dream about Indian food at night. Should I start drinking coffee? I would recommend, if you like it, to start drinking decaffeinated coffee, because there is genuinely research out there now to suggest the health benefits of coffee. If you've... Let me actually find it. There's Stephen Bartlett does a podcast on the Diary of a CEO with Diary of a CEO coffee. Is it that one? Yeah, that's the one. There's a podcast on the benefits of coffee, and it's genuinely positive, but it's not the caffeine side of the coffee. It's just the actual coffee bean. So go for the decaf coffee probably, because you don't want to become over reliant on caffeine. If you're only starting now. Whoa, lag. I've just copied it into the chat. But if you just type in Diary of a CEO coffee, it's the first one that comes up. Decaf is just hollow coffee beans ground up. It's just sad. I don't think it's necessarily that, but there's potentially less of the goodness, but you're also not having to rely on the coffee. To be fair, caffeinated coffee is fine. Just don't over rely on caffeine is what I'd say. You don't want to get to the stage where you wake up and if you don't have caffeine, you can't function. Guy from Diary of a CEO is a sellout. Why would you say that? I'm not saying you're wrong. I just want to know why. Before you became a big-time streamer, did you plan on becoming a psychiatrist? I planned on becoming a lecturer, and I still could, to be fair, but a big-time streamer. Thanks, by the way. I was going to become a lecturer in psychology. I love teaching. If you've not yet been able to tell from the last 50 minutes, I just love teaching. Huberman Lab with Matthew Walker just up on YouTube. Is it? Let me have a look. I love Matthew Walker, man. What a man. When was it uploaded? Oh, 2 days ago. I'll give that a watch. I've literally watched every podcast ever with Matthew Walker, but you can never get too much. Oh, it's a 3-hour one as well. Get in. Yeah, that'll be me listening to that at the gym at some point. I think my calling in life is teaching. I don't know what. It doesn't necessarily need to be a specific thing, but I love teaching. I realised that about 3 or 4 years ago, that teaching was my calling in some regard.
I respect it, because for me, it's like the worst thing in the world. I honestly couldn't think of a worse thing to do than teach
FPL Pickle. FPL Pickle just said respect because it's the worst thing she could possibly think of doing, teaching. Yeah, some people hate it. Like public speaking, I love it. Like you put me on a stage, love it. You put me in front of 10,000 people on a stream, love it. Some people wouldn't. But I see it as an opportunity to spread some positive vibes and to spread some interesting information, right? And also, there's this thing, I'll talk about this in the future a lot because I love it, the spotlight effect. I've spoke about it before. No one really cares as much as you. Like, if you stutter in the middle of a speech, like, that would play on your mind for months, right? No one cares. You know what? The amount of times in a video I mess up or something happens and I upload it and I'm like, oh, everyone's going to be really annoyed or bothered that I did. No one actually cares what you're doing. Like, you'll put on an outfit and you'll think, oh, this outfit makes me look fat, or I don't like the way my makeup is, or my hair looks greasy. Like all these things that people, no one cares. No one is paying anywhere near as much attention to you as you are to yourself. So I think that helps often when you're nervous about public speaking or being on stream, right? I do understand it is very scary. And to be honest, but by the way, I'll still get sweaty palms. My heart will still be racing. I don't stand in front of a lecture theatre and have absolutely no physiological symptoms of anxiety and stress, but I think generally my mind's in a pretty good place when I do it. By the way, you seem a very smart person. I have a book to suggest to read. I know it may be a bit strange for you, but it's actually the Quran. Read it and tell me your opinion. Love your content anyway. Do you know what? I would actually love to read that. I would. Let me copy paste one of my favorite books ever. I want to make sure I get the spelling right. Siddhartha. This is an absolutely excellent book. It's about a spiritual journey for this. Yeah, well, yeah. So it's a spiritual journey this guy goes on during the time of Gautama Buddha, but it's like, I don't know, it's like fictional, but it's a bit like life lesson. To be honest, when I read the book, I wasn't expecting it to be the way it is. But if you've not read Siddhartha and you are interested in a bit of Buddhism, there you go. Yeah, thanks. Claudette knows the spelling. It's there. Really, really interesting book. I was left afterwards like, that was an interesting book. that like spiritually, which I don't really get very often. I'm not a very spiritual person. Ross, have you read any books in the Bible? I've read parts of the Bible at school, but since then, sadly not. I am agnostic. I'm not atheist, but I'm not. I don't currently believe in anything in particular. So as much as I would like to, but I am relatively open-minded still. You're right up there with Andy. Let's talk FPL right on his tail. Is your goal to overtake him? Is there a friendly rivalry? I think there's a lot of respect between myself and Andy. I wouldn't say like we're close friends or anything. I don't speak to him very often. To be fair, FPL Focal and FPL Mate have quite a few more subscribers than me. So in terms of subscriber count, I'm fourth. But in terms of views, yeah, I'd say I'm getting there. I'm getting there for sure. I mean, Andy's been doing it for so long, though. He's got almost 400,000 subs. He's so reliable. He's been doing it for 6 or 7 years. I'm not expecting to overtake Andy anytime soon. And I don't need to. For me, it wouldn't mean that much to have the most views. As long as I'm happy with the interactions that I get and the views that I get, then that's okay for me. This stream is like therapy. I'm glad you think so. It's definitely a different kind of stream to most FPL YouTubers, I suppose. FPL Pickle speaks to him and watches his streams every week. FPL Pickle has to listen to me talk so much. Bless her heart. She sits there whilst I stream. She sits there whilst I record. She then FaceTimes me. She sees me in person. It's a lot. Raptor didn't come to take part, he came to take over. Facts. FPL Pickle watches Andy all the time. Facts, probably. Oh, if you were talking about Andy, by the way, she probably also... Yeah. To be fair, do you know what the funny thing is? She doesn't actually. Everyone thinks she does, but she doesn't. She doesn't. How old are you, Raptor? I've just turned 27. Just turned 27. Siddhartha is the name of Lord Buddha before his enlightenment. I didn't know that, actually. Oh, that makes a lot more sense then. I didn't actually know that. Oh, the book makes a little bit more sense. Let me have a look. When was it written, by the way? Yeah, It was first published in 1922. Interesting. I like it. I might read it again at some point. It was a very short and easy read as well. It wasn't too bad at all. Read the book Person of Interest. Person of Interest. Book. Person of Interest. Why Jesus still matters in the world that... It's a long title. In a world that rejects the Bible. Is it a fiction book? Oh, interesting. His own personal investigative journey from atheism to Christianity. Do you know what? I'd actually be interested in reading that, for sure. I would. Life-altering, perspective-shifting, mind-opening stream. I don't know if you're being over the top there, but if you have learned anything from today's stream, then that's a benefit to me. As if Buddha was originally called Sid. I don't think it was Sid. Like Sid the Sloth from Ice Age. No, I think it probably was just Siddhartha. Could talk about the Joshua Files. Mother, hello. I hope you're feeling better. I got really excited then. I looked down at the chat and someone said Joshua Files, which are like my favourite set of books ever. And then I realised it was my mum, because we used to read together. If you want to know why I'm so knowledgeable now for my age, it's all due to Samantha, my mother. So say thank you, Mama Raptor, because she used to read to me all day, every day. We used to read every night, chapters upon chapters. We used to read Roald Dahl. We used to read the Joshua Files. We read all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I love those books. If you've not read the Joshua Files, they're probably made for like 12-year-olds, but I still think they're good now. They were so good. Thanks to you, I ordered Why We Sleep. Would be especially a good gift from my mother who sleeps 3 to 4 hours a night and thinks it's okay. Thank you. Yes, tell your mother to sleep more. I have to tell my bloody mum to sleep all the time. She doesn't sleep as well. Mums and dads don't understand how much they need to sleep because obviously it wasn't known back then. Like, it's only very recent research which shows how important sleep is. Yeah, Mama Raptor's a legend for encouraging reading because not all parents do, and I think it makes a massive impact on how much you read as an adult as well. And it makes you intellectually curious as well. If you're because I remember we used to read books together and like words would come up and I'd be like, what does that word mean? And if my mum didn't know, we'd Google it, right? So I think that's how you gain that intellectual curiosity. A lot of people anyway.
Not necessarily, but yeah, true.
Yeah, I think it's a good piece of encouragement.
I mean, it's not the only way.
Oh no.
Good read. I'm very curious.
Yeah. Telling your parents to sleep, role reversal. Absolutely. I went to the library to get While We Sleep, sat on my table 3 weeks till I returned it. I read the front and back cover. Listen, While We Sleep, trust me, it is slightly more academic than a normal book, but it's not pitched too highly. I think anyone can read While We Sleep. I don't think you've got to be like A Brief History of Time, you would have to, but you don't have to be an academic to read While We Sleep. Google, we had to use a dictionary. I probably did used to have a dictionary back in the day, but yeah, then I'm not too old. So very soon into my childhood, I probably would have had Google. When did Google come about? Was it? I thought it was way later than that. Really? When did Google start? 1998. Yeah. Well done, Pickle. I thought it was like 2004. So a year after I was born, Google came around. There we go. So yeah, I've had Google my whole life, really. Do you plan on building the challenge team, Ross? I've already done my challenge team. It was just all Man United and Liverpool players, to be honest. Right, guys, I'm going to end it there because I've been streaming for over 3 hours. It's the longest stream in a while, but we were having a little intellectual conversation and talking about all sorts of fun stuff. And I'm a bit of a nerd, so I lost track of time. Although there is a super chat from Nick, so let me answer this first. What are your top 3 movies, top 3 TV shows, top 3 musical artists, and of course, top 3 stapler manufacturers? Cheers. Top 3 movies. Do you know what? Should I type this out? No, I'm just going to say it. Top 3 movies. About Time. Interstellar. Oh, what would be the third one? About Time, Interstellar. Oh my God, I don't know. I'll go Inception for now, or The Prestige. Anything Christopher Nolan, basically. Top 3 TV shows. Suits, Prison Break, Breaking Bad / Game of Thrones. Top 3 musical artists. Dave, Drake, Stormzy. There we go. Done. Oh, Ludovic Einaudi deserves a spot in there as well. Anyway, I think that answers it. Thank you very much, guys. I do appreciate you being here. Have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you on probably Monday morning for a transfer plans video. I love you all very much. I'm proud of all of you, and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.